Sin, under this pantheon of gods, shall not be defined by any particular act. Specific prohibitory acts are to be determined by each god's rules and judgment. In turn, no mortal can sin against a god they have not chosen, no matter their action. Should a mortal opt into a rule of law only to then break it, they shall be punished by, again, their deity's discretion. This is with a sole exception. Those who ask more of the gods than their mortal lives, who ask for power beyond the bounds of nature, and then transgress, shall be met with absolute and immediate damnation. For the Pantheon's authority must be carved into stone if it is to be woven into the fabric of heaven. This is a tale of sin. Not from the theological perspective, but from the lowly mortal's perspective, involving all the things that are left out of texts such as these. The injustices, the human consequence, the confusion of what constitutes sin and why. More than anything else, this is about the ripples that come from such an original, damaging act. This is the tale of murder under moonlight's shade. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Murder Under Moonlight's Shade. We have, once again, for you, our four fated players. How are we all doing today?
Amazing.
Good.
Pretty good.
Only a couple murders. Could
My
be
husband
worse.
is dead.
Ah, too true. On that note, let's recap what happened last time on Murder Under Moonlight Shade as we began our tale at Victor Thames' very exclusive dinner party in his secluded manor. We met 4 guests to this party. Lady Catherine Solstice, the noble Eladrin and friend of Victor, the dubious chaplain Caplinger Rokencourt with his owl companion Lafayette, who went about stealing and seemingly scamming people at the party. Who's to say
Maybe.
those afterlife planets could be completely legitimate? We do not know. We also met... Who's to say? We also met Evelyn Hahn, the widow in search of a new beau. Unfortunately, she found Beau the Butcher, but later she found Baron Redding, the man of her dreams and soon-to-be explosive love. Last, we met Turniphead, the Goliath chef revealed to actually be a Dr. Gnome. With such guests, it was as normal a dinner party you could get, with the exception of the dinner itself, featuring the death of Victor Thames, becoming a victim under mysterious circumstances. Oh no, the lights went out in a murder mystery. Who could have guessed? Torniped. Well, first Torniped stole the body and brought it to the kitchen, and everyone just kind of saw the body, conversed with the body, got very cryptic answers, brought it back to the kitchen, or the dining room. After which, Caplinger mostly observed the chaos. Turniped and Catherine went to do an autopsy on the body, and Evelyn Hahn got married to Baron Redding right before he boarded his carriage and swiftly exploded, with the comically unreliable detective revealed to be Jason fleeing from that scene as well. We begin with our characters stated where they are. Hey gang, you just heard an explosion. What do? We'll exclude Evie from this because she's right there. What's everyone else doing?
I mean, Lady Solstice isn't particularly helpful in this autopsy anyway. I want to go see what that was.
You are followed by...
Just gonna go.
Yeah. You are followed by your maid, Clara, and Tornaped's new assistant, Bo the Butcher, says, Oh, that sounded bad. Should we stay here? I can stay here, but like also, I don't see what had happened.
We already learned as much from this autopsy as I think we're gonna get, right?
Yes, specifically, you learned that this magic meddling did not tamper with any emotional parts of his brain.
All right, then Turniped's gonna also go and see what this commotion was about.
All right.
Do we want to
Kaplinger.
leave the body with nobody there?
I'm gonna
I'm not gonna suggest
I'm gonna
that,
send
but-
Lafayette because I don't want to leave the body alone.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna
Very
send my owl
smart.
to check things
Very,
out.
very pragmatic decision. So,
And if I happen to go through his pockets while everyone's gone,
That's the protection fee.
Oh, actually,
Already
yeah, wait, didn't Evie already do
did that.
Yeah.
we did
Oh,
we
that's
did already go through his pockets.
maybe I didn't
but, like,
observe that, so I'd still probably do it.
I mean, you find money that they didn't take, so
I think they did. I think they took it.
yeah, fair enough. Those who exit the kitchen turned autopsy room will see, in order from most to least distant from you, the burning carriages and horse carcasses in the driveway, a fleeing back into the manor detective, and in the doorway, Evie Hahn. Just what do they see when they see Evie?
Well, Evelyn loves nothing more than a bit of spectacle. And so she is on her knees and she is, no! My husband! He was so young! I can't believe it! What is happening? Why did this happen to him? No! Oh God, no!
Amelia flits to your side and like cradles you.
Oh, yeah.
Such a cruel world it is.
Am I just fated to be alone forever?
Oh, the gods hate young love. And she leans into your ear. When did you get the time to set explosives?
It wasn't me this time. I don't actually know who killed him. I just had a hunch he was gonna die, so I married him quickly.
So he just exploded. Oh,
He blew up.
shame. Oh.
What will I do with all of his land and wealth and money and property all to myself? Oh.
Okay, perhaps we don't want them to think you murdered him.
No, why would they think I murdered him? I didn't this time. I mean, I didn't. Who would do such a thing?
Who would do such a thing?
A terrible thing! A terrible thing!
At this
And it
point,
goes on like that.
like,
As
yeah, go ahead,
Oh, go ahead.
Nikhil, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as she's wailing, I want to go ahead and do an Arcana check to see if I could pick up any sort of, I don't know, explosive magic remnants on this woman.
Sure. You're testing Evie specifically?
Yeah, well, this is like not helpful out of character, but in character, he did hear her say she would murder him. So
Yeah, that did happen.
we gotta,
Yeah,
we
that's
gotta-
true.
We gotta do the little magical TSA swipe check, make sure this wasn't Evie.
Yes, you can give me an Arcana check for that.
That's 24.
No,
Cool.
none.
That's good.
Anything? Just
Is
a
there
general
anywhere
thing?
else?
Yeah, like just the general explosion.
Also, no traces of a magical explosion are at this site. And certainly none on Evie.
It doesn't
Suspect
actually
though
clear
it may
your name,
be.
Evie, if there's no magical explosion. That just means you just used real explosives. That's fine.
No, that's fine. I'll zone of truth this if I must.
You said that when we came into this room, Detective he was running from this, I believe, or walking away quickly. Where was he going? Because if Lady Solstice walks into this room after hearing an explosion to see a weeping woman on the ground and a dude she's already suspicious of booking it, like, I'm getting him.
Yeah, as you see him, he runs from the outside, from the stairways, into the foyer and falls to all fours. Uh, uh turns around to his butt and like scoots away. She blew up the cards. She blew up the cards. She cast a spell, and then things lit up, and she blew them up.
Can I insight check that before anything else?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I have surprisingly not horrible insight. That's a 17. I'll take it.
I'll roll a deception. Yeah. I wasn't gonna give it to either way, but he rolled a 3. Yeah, he's totally bullshitting.
Okay.
That is very obviously not what happened.
So he's on the ground, just like laying there, freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Solstice, still in like the green skinned, like sad form. I'm just gonna walk over and like step on his chest and be like, well, I suppose I got someone responsible.
No, me? No. I didn't do anything. I don't know what Grace told you, but I'm an actor, okay? I'm an actor, all right?
Just because you're an actor doesn't mean you can blow somebody up.
I didn't blow anybody up. All right, look. He takes off his detective hat and detective's jacket, revealing seemingly nothing hidden within the two. I'm an actor. I wanted to do some improv theater to really get my name out there, and I have nothing to do with this explosion. Unlike the witch and her vampire friend, who very obviously did something.
Can I make a follow-up insight check on Evie, who's also bullshitting right now?
Yeah, just give me a deception check.
All right, great.
Yeah, what's my bonus to deception? I
That's a
shockingly
10,
haven't.
so middle of the road.
All right. So with a +5, I should be able to beat a 10 so
Statistically.
easily.
Yeah.
Like really, we don't even need to look what I rolled.
Yeah, but out of intellectual honesty, what did you roll?
I got a 6. Typical 6 with a +5.
So
Which, for anyone who's not good at math, is a nat 1.
Oh.
6 with the +5.
Yeah.
6 including.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Oh,
I'm not even gonna say that's anything said about your performance, but you're weeping for a thoroughly unlikable man in front of an explosion, and you have modeled yourself after someone whose costume design very clearly screams, "I killed husbands." The room is maybe not unanimously on your side, and Catherine certainly is not.
Yeah, no, so Turniphead, you're over there, right? Are you in like your big mech meat
I'm
suit
the
right
gnome
now?
right now.
Okay, you're the gnome right now. Either way, she's gonna be like, oh, well, now things have gotten more complicated. Gnome, can you detain her as well so we can get to the bottom of this?
I'm detained by my grief.
And hopefully by the large meat man in a moment.
I was gonna ask if I could do this anyway, just to have things be a little easier. It's kind of not the intention of the spell, but if I cast Animate Dead, can I have my little meat suit follow me around?
That's clever.
I don't want to give it like sentience,
Yeah.
which is what the spell does, but I just want it to follow me.
I mean, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, as a DM myself, I have to look up the. I've never heard of anybody doing that before, but that's. It does specifically say you can even choose a pile of bones to do it with. Yeah. So yeah, okay.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not the DM, but that makes sense. Clever.
Cool.
So
Cast that on the pile of bones I'm wearing?
Then I'm gonna have my meat servant now go sort of detain.
So I have a clarifying question.
But go stand next to her, threatening. Like,
Jake, what's up?
So Nikhil, are you retconning it that you had him follow you initially, or is it like you're calling your self-driving car to come pick you up? Because that will inform what I do.
Actually, no, that's funnier. I think as soon as she says detain her, I sort of summon the slumping body from the other room to come walk out here.
Okay, so then if Kaplinger stayed in the room with your empty meat suit, he would definitely like sneak a peek inside before you summoned him away. Like as soon as everybody leaves and it's just him and 2 dead bodies, He's gonna take a peek in the meat suit.
What's it look like in there?
I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like a body. There's like surprisingly organs and specific sections of blood that are in little baggies. It looks like a body.
Bad. Thank you. Not good. Not a huge fan of that.
I should have mentioned when he opens the zipper, you could like see the entrails that he's pulling himself out of. There's never. It looks like a man.
Are there any of Dr. Tornaped's belongings within this meat man?
Don't burgle the body!
That is a wonderful question. Is there anything that the Tornaped owns that he would keep on the meat suit's body?
Why am I playing the most ethical person in this campaign for once? What's happening?
What's unethical about any of this?
That was the thug with a heart of gold last time.
I'm trying to think of what Dr. Turniphead would own and then bring to this event. I feel like not much. But the idea of the body being a storage device because it's so tall is also so funny that I will say that there are some scientific instruments that may have come in handy.
There were
diversely
scientific instruments.
There were.
Damn. So, as Kaplinger robs the body, as he finishes up,
washes them off with holy water.
Yeah.
Likely more of that for you.
As you're washing them, the Turniped self-driving homunculus goes to apprehend Evie, which I mean, it's up to you, Jess, if you put up a fight against being apprehended. I would assume so.
No, this is so much more spectacle. My husband is dead, and now I'm being apprehended. You monsters, all of you! You'll hear from my lawyer. The repercussions. Rich people are terrible.
Yes, they are terrible. This is a carriage of misjustice. Amelia's not super on board with how you're playing this.
I've done nothing wrong. I have nothing to fear.
I suppose.
You got married magically, yeah?
Yes. I mean, yes.
Okay. Fascinating.
This is such an interesting situation because you are absolutely 100% bullshitting. You got a nat 1. We know you're bullshitting, but personally, Lady Solstice thinks you're lying about something else.
I think at this point, Turniped is just going to tell Solstice that earlier she mentioned she would marry this man and then kill him, and he now seems to be dead, and they are married.
Okay, so still standing on the detective, who I guess now seems a little bit more innocent. It's just, well, at least that's something definitive that we can go on. That's something.
Immediately upon hearing that, no more tears, no more wailing. Be like, just a point of clarification. That may have been the plan. He died before I had the chance to do anything. I'm innocent.
Molly speaks up. Didn't he mention a spell you cast?
Oh, I cast Ceremony. I was married to the Baron.
So you did do the first part of the plan and then the second part of the plan also, which was the whole plan.
No, see, I suspected that if any of us tried to leave, then we would die. And I married a man who, as far as I could tell, served no gods in order to,
kill him and take his money.
Marriage in the name of did the marriage in the name of my god, and now he is guaranteed a nicer spot in death because he's a follower and worshiper of her Lady Death herself, with her many beautiful faces and eyes.
I have a morbid question real quick. We have a necromancer among us who has used necromancy to a helpful extent so far. How much body is remaining of this blown up man? You did specifically use the wording last episode. It was like a landmine went off, which is why I asked. I can't
I mean,
imagine
you
it's
can
much.
find pieces. For your purposes, I'm assuming you'd be looking for a head.
Yeah, this is out of character, mostly for my own curiosity, and also just because I know we have access to speak with dead.
We don't really anymore. Spell slots are up until we sleep.
Oh shit!
Awkward.
Well, I mean, at best I was gonna make you do an investigation check to find the head, and even then, I don't know if it would have been intact. He
I'll speak fresh.
exploded.
I'm really banking that we don't actually have conflict in this campaign. It was just a mystery because I've been just using these spells left and right for fun.
Same.
Mhm.
Lady Solstice looks down at Detective Her, which I know his name, but it's funnier the other way. Goes, and what were you doing out here running away? Were you trying to leave? Just explain something to me, please.
You teleported me to the foyer.
You didn't
And
even
then I
help into the
ran to the
situation.
carriages. I ran to the carriages in a little bit of a panic. I saw another man in the carriages. And then remembering that my horses were asleep, I came back into the manor and into the foyer. So I had nothing to do with the explosion.
And who was this other man that you saw at the carriages?
And there's the rub. That man...
I know you're an
in
actor.
the
You don't always
carriages-
have to be on.
That man in the carriages was meant to be in the building as a guest tonight. I saw it with my own eyes in line. He was arguing with the butler over an allegedly lost letter.
See, this is why we need the notebook. I remember that happening.
And who, you might be wondering, slipped past while all that was going on, conveniently, that mouthy man of the cloth from earlier, who suspiciously is absent from this foyer.
Does this detective have any reason to suspect the chaplain, the mouthy man?
He's
Have they
well,
interacted?
he's mouthy, and he saw that stuff outside before the party.
Did.
I just love him being like, you know whose problem this is, actually? It's the man of God.
We
It also
have
brings up a point that I don't
man.
think I've interacted with the chaplain at all. So I don't know who this is.
My sole interaction is he whispered to me to shut up. So
That did happen.
Mouthy man of the cloth. He barely speaks.
I don't know who we're talking about.
He spoke during my spiel in the dining room, and what we have here are two scammers that have infiltrated this party, and both with ties to victims from the explosion, and the victims in this explosion, you may be wondering, the Baron Redding and his cousin, Duke Bloondeface.
There was a second person there?
yeah.
Who is...
That was
Okay,
Lafayette.
you're not meant to know. Seeing that everyone in the room is confused, you're not meant to know his name, but like the fact that they were related is meant to set off some alarm bells because maybe this was a coordinated.
This is a party. There could be relatives.
As
Why
this is
is it-
becoming more about these two that Terrapin does not care about, he'll leave the Mitsu, but he's gonna walk back inside to go talk to the chaplain.
Yeah, bring him back here, please.
Am I still restrained?
You
Yeah,
never
but-
were restrained. He's just
Oh.
standing next to you, threateningly.
Dang.
You've been crying.
Yeah.
So yeah, seeing that you're going to fetch this guy, Lady Solstice is going to tell you, says, "Oh yes, go fetch him. Bring him here."
Yeah, no, that seems like a good idea. We can get to the bottom of this with more people here. It's far more
Don't
suspicious
think
than
you're
I am.
off the hook either.
Hey, I have done no sins against my god.
Are you still in the kitchen, chaplain?
I'm wherever the body is.
What?
Wherever
I think
it
that's
left
the
body.
dining room
I
currently,
was
right?
not going to leave the body by itself.
Okay, yeah, the
before
dining room then.
before we get back to that, the two of you who are still in the foyer or wherever this is going down, see a small owl land atop the stationary turnip head meat suit's head, not being stealthy or anything. Just land there and start preening itself. All right.
Okay, I'm going back to fight the chaplain, and very casually. Go ahead. I said very casually. Mike, go ahead. I'll be quiet.
I was just gonna say, you enter the kitchen, you find the chaplain. That's it.
I'm sorry. I find the chaplain very casually, very calmly. I'm just kind of like, "Hello there. So earlier, do you remember when you told me to shut up?"
I do, and I apologize for that. I just felt like in the moment, a calm, steady hand was needed to help provide.
Totally understandable. You know, when I'm inside that thing, it sort of dulls me. You know, I gotta sort of use my brain and its brain in tandem to control it. I'm not myself in those moments. And
fascinating.
You handled it well, and I appreciate that. I do have a quick question, and I need you to understand that I personally, I don't care either way. I got some work I have to do, and I would rather not do it looking over my shoulder all the time. Did you kill like all the people that have died so far?
There's more than one person.
Yeah, sorry. There was an explosion outside. We're currently considering whether or not you were involved.
Oh, I heard the noise, but there were people that got caught in the explosion?
Again, if you're doing this for my benefit, I do not care. I just need to know if you're here to, like, what the agenda is. If you're here to kill people, if I need to be worried.
I honestly did not know.
Okay, can I insight him?
It's new information. Yeah.
We'll insight you. Oh, that was a dirty 20. I assume you're telling the truth.
I am telling the truth, yes.
Okay. All right. The turnip head's gonna be like, okay. Is it true that you're not supposed to be here?
Is it true that you're not supposed to be here?
Yes, that is why I snuck in a giant fake meat suit.
Yeah, well, I go where the Azerbaijan Collective wills me to be, and sometimes that's not necessarily legal or expected, but I would say that I am supposed to be here because I am here.
Okay. Still, it seems to me that me and you are the two normal people that have been sort of wrapped up in this bourgeoisie drama. And regrettably, you are currently in the hot seat. They would like to talk to you in the foyer, and if you could go do that, that would be very appreciative to be.
I will oblige. I do, though, think it is a bad idea to leave the corpse alone.
They don't do much.
Yeah, but it is kind of our only lead to.
Well, tell me you also want to know who killed this random rich man.
I mean, if it helps me not be implicated, yes.
Okay, you go deal with those two, and I will stay here with him and look into why he may have died. This is probably about land or something, man. It's not our job.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't trust you, but things do seem to move around you.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just keep it with us.
Oh no, that's the one trick pony. I can't do that again. That's for the meat suit only. You want to? We could. I'm a pretty small guy. We could pick it up if you want, but you'd be doing most of the heavy lifting.
Where's the big guy?
The big guy is detaining the other person who maybe swindled their way in here. They're really targeting those who don't have invitations for some reason, which seems rude to me. But
I mean, it's starting to sound like nobody had an invitation.
No, I think it's just the three of us.
It's oddly convenient. Well, I guess. I mean, you grab a leg, I'll grab an arm, and
I strongly don't think we need to keep moving the body. I gotta be honest. I did it once.
if they
Everyone
want to come
freaked
here
out.
and talk to me, that's fine.
Not going back.
We need to consolidate these two quadrants that we have into one.
I'm
However that
imagining
happens.
Bo
just
barges into the
imagining
room.
the fucking Benny Hill theme as we drag this corpse all over this mansion.
Yeah.
This corpse. You're not supposed to fucking move the body.
We're moving it
Move
everywhere.
it so much.
I think like
Too
almost
late.
all of us have touched it at this point. No, all of us have. All of us have touched this body.
Yeah, now we have.
Yeah.
I think because I went through its pockets. Yep.
There's so much better things to do right now. There's a butler. He was very interesting.
Yeah, we do need to consolidate everybody in one place,
Yeah.
I think. That is a very important next step. I'm in the foyer.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what? While I have the
On
big
that-
guy, actually, can the big guy pick up Evie and then just start walking her towards me? I feel like whatever, what's your name? Solstice
Yeah.
would just also accompany. So I think it'd be fine.
If we want to...
Detective.
okay,
Yeah,
Hand me.
you-
I am the
okay.
Baroness of Reading.
okay, I think... So the body is just kind of picking up Evie and going into the kitchen.
If that's allowed, that's still a mic rule, I think.
Nikhil, it's your homunculus. Yeah, you can tell it to do that. It's gonna have consequences when the fucking homunculus takes the suspect and brings him into the kitchen. But yeah, you can do that. Sure.
Consequences.
All
right, yeah.
Consequences.
At this point, Lady Solstice is... I mean, she will just absolutely follow it. I'll take my foot off this detective, kind of just pull him to his feet, and then start dragging him in there, too.
I'll tell you this little ass gnome's not walking back to the foyer. That was not an option.
Lafayette is still riding on top of the homunculus.
We're
Although as soon as
so
they
bad at
enter-
this.
Hold on.
as soon as
I
they
changed
enter-
my mind. This is better than walking.
As soon as they enter, he flies over and lands on my shoulder.
Catherine, as you get off Jace's chest and head to the room, he scrambles to his feet and you hear him say, "Do you see this band of colorful characters who are clearly forming an inclusionary elite from the rest of..." And you close the kitchen door. Knowing this guy, you probably have a good few minutes before he maybe rallies a mob to enter the kitchen. So...
Oh, no, I'm taking him with me. He's a suspect.
Oh, you're taking him with me.
She steps off of him,
Oh.
grabs him by the collar, yanks him to his feet, and just starts dragging him behind her into the kitchen.
Oh, in that,
She's
in
still
that case, he
suspicious
says,
of him.
"Where is your sense of action? Are you going to let so-called justice be done behind closed doors in front of none of your eyes? Hello? Anyone? Hello?" You go through the kitchen doors.
Who's left? Because didn't people try to leave? Did anyone get out before the explosion, or was that just everyone?
No one else got out before the explosion because Catherine intimidated people into staying in the dining room. So the only one who got out to the carriages, the only ones were Jason and the Baron.
Wow, it's almost like I saved people's lives by only having one person out there.
We should probably have someone stationed by the door, but in character, I am not thinking about that, so I'm not going to.
Well, as long as we're consolidating, he'll drop Evie when we get together. The meat suit will stand by the door.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay, that's actually a good plan.
So all of our principal cast basically is gathered in the kitchen, Molly included. She followed Catherine.
Thank goodness, someone competent.
And you're all in the kitchen. I suppose it's game plan time.
I take Jason and just kind of shove him into the middle of everybody and go, "You say what you said about the cousin one more time with everyone present."
Well, now I'd just like to get some things clear now that we're out of the open. That it's all show, right? It's all show, and
no,
we say
people are
things.
dead. So
What I mean to say is I'm not casting aspersions or accusations when I say this, but I did see you, and he points to the chaplain, steal an invitation from the Duke, who conveniently wound up in the explosion with the Baron, who you, he points to Evie, conveniently married seconds before he died. It smells a little bit like collusion. I'm getting a waft of collusion, you know?
If it helps, I've never met this man in my life.
Also, he didn't do it. I asked him already.
Just give me a persuasion check, since obviously this is true.
Oh, yeah, okay. What is my skill for persuasion? Oh, I have a +5 to that as well. I got a 24.
Ooh.
Feast or famine tonight, gentlemen.
Yeah. Okay. Weirdly, that convinces Catherine absolutely, because I saw you faking the crying, and then you're like, yeah, I don't know this guy. And that lie and that truth actually do fit together really nicely. So I believe you now.
Jason follows the exact same logic. It's like, okay, you couldn't cry. I did not believe the crying performance, but I believe what you just said here. That can be taken as true.
Yeah, no, I mean, all cards on the table. I was intending to kill the Duke. Somebody else got to it before me. I was intending to marry him to take all of his money.
Duke or the Baron?
Sorry, the Baron. My bad.
So wait, now there's 3 people dead?
Yeah, the Duke also died. I didn't know about the Duke.
Some horses.
If I knew there was somebody in the carriages, I would have tried to get him out. I don't kill people that aren't terrible.
How do you know the Duke wasn't terrible? He's a Duke. He probably sucks.
He probably does, but he deserves the chance to, prove it.
Jason says he did have a pretty bad reputation. So none of... I guess... Okay, if we're all putting cards on the table, and none of you set the bombs, I'm not really a detective, which I said before. And also, with that, it probably wasn't a bullet that killed Victor Tam. I know that was kind of our leading theory, but no, the bullets were completely showmanship. And for what it's worth, I did not plant the bullets. I was yes-anding that completely. But
there was just a bucket of bullets.
What about the woman that you were working with? Who had the
I was
bullets?
yes-anding. I was yes-anding.
But did you know her previously?
Oh yeah, for sure. But we didn't have like a plan.
So she happened to find bullets that you didn't know about?
Okay, there's a thing called yes-anding where you take
hold on. No, your theory was that there was a bullet, and then you happened to find bullets that you improv'd around?
Yes.
Insight check, please.
I think
yeah.
And
yeah. Hey, there you go. Hey.
I've got this.
16.
That's a dirty 20 for Trade Defend.
Ooh.
What did you get, Jake?
18.
18. Evelyn, are you checking or are you just?
I got a 16.
No, because I have a different theory. I completely believe this man.
All right. I mean, everyone got a high enough check to say, yeah, it's batshit, but he seems to be telling the truth. And if at some point you were to go up to Grace to try to corroborate that story, she would say the same thing with the same level of truthfulness.
I believe her because I intimidated the shit out of her when I was standing on top of the dining room table.
Yeah, we can say she's in the room. Her boss got dragged in here. She's kind of part of this now.
Mm-hmm. That is twice now that something has just happened and appeared when we spontaneously needed it in this very automated mansion. Because I will confess that I had a theory that if we tried to leave, you would die. I also was kind of hoping it would be true because that would mean I get immense profits. Just like how I imagine you, Jason, were probably hoping that somebody would find a bullet because that would make your improv skills look incredible. So, the next thing I'm hoping that we find is some bread. I love bread. I think actually bread is very important to us solving this mystery. And I imagine it's going to be right in here in this cupboard. I'm going to just open a cupboard.
We're in a kitchen.
We are in a kitchen.
This is where the bread would be. If there was any bread.
Is there bread in the cupboard?
There's flour. Not full bread.
Mike, good job for picking the actual funniest option in that scenario. Excellent work.
I immediately also went to Arcade to check this to see if it has any similar pattern to the tray people.
Because why would it be flour? There's no cooking happening here.
Turnipad is like, wait a minute. That's a good point. I would do an Arcana check real quick. Hold on. It's gonna be.
What are you checking on exactly?
To see if it has a similar trace to all the other stuff I've been tracing so far.
Oh, okay.
And it's a 17.
Okay.
The fact that Mike did not immediately shoot that down is promising.
No, well, you don't find any on the flower. But now that you're running that check in this room and remembering what you saw earlier, you do pick up traces of that energy, not from the flower. You get it on the outlines of the body, and you get it in the path that you saw the trays flying in earlier. In fact, that energy makes some form of footsteps.
Oh, that's such a fucking speedster.
But also, you kind of feel it all around the room as well. You can focus on that path because you saw it, but you also feel like there's a lot of that residue in this room as well.
Is there any on the drawer?
The cupboard?
Yeah, so someone else had opened it and put flour in there.
Not a significant amount. No, you don't. And there's none on the flour, so it's
None on the flour.
They just had flour in the cupboard. It was already there.
Okay. Maybe this wasn't the best test.
Yeah.
But I do think something's going on that's causing things that we want to happen to automatically happen.
Actually, Mike, I'm sorry to keep belaboring this, but as someone who was pretending to be a chef in here, can I roll some sort of like a history check to see if I would have come across whether or not there was flour in that cupboard earlier?
Yes, you can roll a history check for that.
Let's see.
History of this.
That is a nat 20 for a total of 28.
28!
Watch this just not have anything to do with this mystery at all, but we're going to know about this kitchen operations.
Listen, Nikhil, not only was the flour in there, but with a nat 20, you just know the entirety of what ingredients were and were not in the kitchen at the start of the night. So if there are any future disturbances to the stock in this kitchen, you will fucking know.
Okay, see, I'm happy I did
There are none right now.
Turnipad was still going to be sold until this. Now he's not sold. Now he thinks this was silly.
We have all the ingredients for bread.
Not in
Can we stop and make bread?
Butter, flour, yeast.
Complex fate situation where when I came in earlier, there was already all the stuff for bread because one day someone would ask if they had the needs for bread.
Molly speaks up. Before we go down the path of fantastical house hijinks which could possibly be in play, I'm not saying that's out of the realm of possibility. You know, we just had a miraculous explosion, but maybe we should focus on something more tangible first. Because again, there was an explosion. We should probably check out the site of that at some point.
But if there was an explosion, then everything's going to be blown up.
Yeah, I'm not inclined to go towards the fire and death.
Yeah, if the idea that we're sticking with is that simply trying to leave blew them up, perhaps us leaving to look at it is not a great idea.
Okay. Lady Solstice speaks up again over everybody else, points at Jason and goes, why don't we just send him out again and see if he blows up?
Oh, is there anyone worse we can find? He's kind of terrible.
He's been an annoyance.
Jason, how popular of an actor would you say you are?
Listen, guys, I got 2 more charges of this teleport thing.
Secondary question. Were you invited to this party or did you just show up?
I was invited. I had an invitation. It was in my coat, which I took off in the foyer.
Let's find someone more annoying than Jason. There's gotta be some Baron or something else that we could blow up again.
On someone more annoying into the kitchen wearing the coat in question is Eleanor Duchess from earlier.
Ah, the character.
She comes in
I
and
have
says,
better yet.
Now, what seems to be the goes on in here? Some sort of kitchen party?
Actually, we were about to move it to the
fuck are
foyer if
you?
you want to go over there.
The name's Eleanor Duchess, but I suppose tonight's it's Eleanor Duchess, because I am a private dick, as you can see from my attire.
You just picked her
Wait.
up off the floor.
I'm gonna incite that too. Is she actually?
She's just borrowing the coat. The coat would make you a private actress, actually.
Yeah, that was 16. Is she a detective or is she lying?
Well, a good actress wouldn't say that, now would she?
Fair point. Oh, I am so pleased.
Is
to
there
meet
a
you.
good actress here?
This is becoming Real Housewives.
She completely dropped the detective voice. Chaplain, after we hit it off earlier, after I had such a fun time piloting your draw, why would you betray
I'm
me so?
sorry. I mean, you left without giving it back.
I suppose I erred in that way. You're right. A little cattiness. You can have it as a treat. Anyway, I heard you were doing some investigating over here.
Who are you?
She gives you the same exact intro she just gave.
She gets 3 words in, and then Lady Solstice puts a finger, not up to, on her mouth and goes, no, just... Do you have anything helpful to say?
Eleanor rifles through the coat and says, well, I did find this. And it's the invitation that Jason was talking about.
I pluck it out of her hand, look at it. I assume everything there looks legitimate.
Everything's in order.
Oh, he was actually invited.
He was actually invited.
I want to I'll turn to the chaplain and be like, see? People get invited.
Were you not invited?
Is that laggy for anyone else, or is it just me?
Of course I was not invited. What did people think the meat suit was?
Well,
no, that was directed at the chaplain. I was when you said see people were invited. Like, wait, were you not invited? At the chaplain.
The provenance of how I found myself here today is a bit convoluted, but let's just say I found an invitation and I decided to join. There was no foul play involved.
Until the man whose invitation you took died mysteriously.
I didn't know that was his invitation. Yes. Would you like me to roll something?
Yeah, I'd like you to roll a deception check.
All right, cool.
It'll be a sliding scale of who in this room believes what you say.
I'll insight that. Oh, that's a nat 20.
I mean, yeah.
I will also insight that.
I got a 14 for the insight.
I got a 16.
Man, nat 20. Okay. It's a 25.
Wow.
But it's not a nat 20. But it is a 25.
Wow. God damn.
Okay. Gonna be the only person.
Here's the thing.
Jeez.
I'm not going to say everyone in this room believes beat for beat the story you have laid out here, but you have presented yourself in such a way that people are coming from what you've said thinking, well, he didn't do anything bad. He's got such charm. In fact, Eleanor says that out loud.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I haven't been 100% forthright. My owl found the invitation and brought it to me. So, here. That is the full truth.
But no, hold on. We're all just going to accept the owl thing, which I do believe for some reason. But no one else is going to accept my new husband happened to blow up excuse from earlier? I feel like this is a double standard.
You don't accept any of this. Everything that's happened in the last hour has been nonsensical.
It is worth pointing out that in the event that none of us here killed any of these people, which seems to be the growing consensus, the true murderer is just out there, partying.
Oh,
That
they can't
would
leave.
seem. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I mean, they can't leave. The carriages are all blown up. So they're still here. They're still trapped in here with us.
So we've got
Perhaps-
a captive audience.
Hmm.
Well, a captive list of suspects. This is Eleanor talking in her detective voice.
So Eleanor Duchess, I love this accent.
Thank you very much.
Are you a duchess, as your name suggests?
She completely drops detective facade. Well, there's the funny thing about that. I don't really know. I think I'm a duchess, or maybe I'm the daughter of the person who invented chess. Something about my namesake has something to do with why I have money, I'm sure, but I never quite know. It's quite a whimsical little life.
Oh, so you do have money. All right, well, if you'll walk with me towards the foyer, I would just like to see something.
You got it, doll face.
Oh, thank you. A detective. Say, have you ever been married? And I think as this conversation is happening, we're just
Yeah.
Is the intent of this to see if another explosion's gonna go off? Because if so, I'm gonna come with you. I've taken explosions in my day. I'll be fine.
I'm also coming.
And I'm gonna stop before I get too far out there. I'm gonna go. This detective is the scene of the crime, and you, as detective, should have first grab at it, shall we say? No one else has been here. No one else has touched it. So I will keep others from contaminating the crime scene while you do your work, detective.
Real helpful there.
Send Lafayette out, but high enough that if there is another explosion, he is not harmed, but has a good view of what happens.
As she's walking out, I'm also going to clamber back into my suit real quick, just in case we need to take the brunt of a blast.
I do love this scene of Evie just like delicately leading this woman and everyone else like gearing up for an explosion in the back of the shot.
Eleanor investigates the site of the explosion, alternating between the hunched gait of an investigator and plies from part to part of the scene. And with each graceful landing of her feet, no further explosions seem to go off. By the time she gets to around about the center of the destruction, she calls, I think I found something. Oh no, the detective's getting a little bit of the drawl. Oh no.
It happens to the best of us. I also want to pick up that southern draw. I'll come check it out. I'm gonna like wave to everyone like I think it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go check it out.
Sure enough, everyone who steps out seems like it's safe. Seems like there are no further explosions. In fact, from where Eleanor is standing, you can see the seeming cause of the explosion. Obviously, not much is there anymore, but you see wires connected to canisters, which would seem to imply that this was a remote explosion set by someone in advance, likely dug underground under where the carts would be resting.
Is there a tunnel?
There are no tunnels here, no.
Good question, but my character's -1
But-
intelligence.
You do. I mean, you're right to think about tunnels because now that you look at the entirety of the outside, it's a really freaking big area. Like, the yard extends from where, obviously the house is out to where the fence with the big old spikes is. And that distance is at least like 100 feet, if not more. And around about the middle of that is this explosion.
Can I roll an investigation check purely for the sake of giving an in-character reason to justify the good question that I have? Hopefully. Okay, now I do have a -1 to this. What's 2 - 1, gang? I'm not going to be asking my question.
I mean,
Unnatural one.
you know what?
Solstice baseball.
You gave me Clara's character sheet, so I'm going to roll one for Clara as well.
Okay.
There it is. Oh, she's level 1. God bless her.
Yeah, she's a baby.
Hey! All right, what's her investigation? Clara gets a 21.
Okay,
so
there were wires, and this was done. It's remotely some way. Does this have a wired connection to the door? Was this set to blow up anyone who left, or was this like going to be like for a specific person? That's, I think it would be interesting to know. Where does the mechanism, like, was it triggered by a person or an event?
You and Clara can follow the path of wires, and you get, a fair ways out in the crater. You get obviously to a point where the crater ends and the wire is still underground. But of what you can see, as you near the door, the wire you can see goes downward. So it doesn't remain level toward the doorway.
Downwards,
even go
away from the door. Okay.
No, downwards toward the door, toward the house.
Oh, downwards
toward
the house. Okay, I got you. Okay, so presumably, yes, this was not a targeted thing, and it was just whoever left was going to cause this explosion, which is interesting too, because if the Duke died, he was just like sitting there, so he really probably was just collateral damage. Because if this was to kill the Duke, why would they wait for somebody else to trigger this? So I don't think he's super relevant to this. Interesting.
Yeah.
Is the wire disappears in the earth or into the house?
It disappears into the earth, so it goes further underground.
Okay. I'm gonna unzip myself, go back to being the elf for a second, and I'm gonna cast Mold Earth and excavate around where the wire's going down.
Oh, I'm gonna back up very quickly. I don't know if it's gonna save me.
My favorite spell.
Yeah, do you have to roll anything for that, or could you tell me what surface area that affects?
It is, I'm pretty sure, a 5-foot cube.
I think it's 5-foot cube for Mold Earth. Yeah, but there's not a roll for it.
It causes difficulty. Yeah, you choose a portion of dirt or stone that you can see within range and that fits within a 5-foot cube. You manipulate it in one of the following ways. You can instantaneously excavate it, move it along the ground, and deposit it up to 5 feet away. This movement does not have enough force to cause damage.
Okay. Yeah, you mold earth out of the way to get at least a little bit more of this wire's path, and while you can't see its endpoint or anything, the angle of it would seem to suggest that it runs down to possibly a lower level of the manor, if it was to go anywhere.
It is fascinating that everything special about this manor up to this point has been magical, and this is tech. That is really weird. Because Victor died in a seemingly very magical way, or at least there was magic related to his body. But this is just a straight up bomb.
Speaking of Victor dying, is the dining room, does it have an exterior facing wall in it, or is it solidly inside the building?
It's solidly inside the building because,
To put it more simply, he got shot from behind. Would the wall behind him be facing the outdoors, or would it be facing the other room?
So the front of the dining room obviously comes from the foyer, and it is surrounded by 2 rooms on the other 2 sides. But the opposite side of the entrance is a window to the outside. But, I mean, you could test that theory and check out the dining room if you want to. But that is what if you're looking for an exterior wall, yes. But also, from the blocking we know, it wouldn't have made sense for him to have been shot from there necessarily. But you can check that theory.
That's all right.
Just to be thorough, Mike, can I do an Arcana check on the wires?
Yeah,
just to be thorough. The 17.
Funnily enough, it's very faint, but you do Sorry, I do want Nikhil to hear this. Jake got a 17 on an Arcana check, checking the wires, and it's very faint, almost as if it was from some time ago, but you do pick up on some of the energy of the same kind of energy that Torniped was able to pick up on as well, assuming you would confer with the doctor to compare notes. And if you do that, if you do that at any point, Clara would join. Clara would join in and say, "When I used my divine sense earlier, I sensed something similar. It was such an unpleasant smell. It was a hallowed spell, but it was harsh and extreme, almost like there was a trail of bleach everywhere."
Okay. In that case, I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the next 10 minutes, as long as I don't break concentration, I can sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of me. If I sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. The spell can penetrate most barriers, blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. But basically, during that 10 minutes, my goal would be to first examine where we are. If there's a visible or obvious trail from there, to follow it, and if not, to check each of the rooms we've been in for similar things, basically, while the spell is active.
Yeah, I'll give you rooms in order as you want to check them out. I'll say right now for here, there are no obvious paths of this energy that go out. Eventually you reach the end of what you can sense from the wire trail, even with the effects of this spell. And I assume you're looking specifically for this kind of magic signature, in which case that's mostly all that you see.
And if potentially that signature can be identified as a certain school of magic based on the spell.
I will say no. And that is a mechanical thing that might be like, well, that doesn't in the future, but for purposes and lore related stuff,
that is still information.
Yeah.
It's still information.
It is no school of magic that you can identify. For any other magic you sense, I don't know if you'd be able to sense that the ceremony spell would have been cast here or not.
Oh, probably. I probably still have some ceremony on me.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to ask if you said when the ceremony spell was cast that the banisters lit up or something.
Yes.
Do I sense anything from those?
I forgot about that.
No, but if someone would like to investigate what those are,
I wouldn't know that. I wasn't there.
We can. Well, you ask if there's any magical signature. You do get a similar magical signature from these, but also if you look at them, they are a particular symbol. Specifically an eye with 7 stars surrounding it, which you can give me a history check to see if you know, or if you know, maybe you know.
Can I also do the history check?
Yeah, I think I'd like to as well.
I have a -1.
I would like to just they can do history checks. I'd like to do a religion check just in case.
Oh my god, I forgot about religion checks. Yes, if your religion is higher, please do a religion check. That is much more in keeping with what we're looking for in terms of information.
Maybe.
That would make it an 8 instead of a 5.
I actually did get a nat 20.
Wow.
That's going to be a hell of a thing to justify. I guess the Solstice family does explore a lot of things and maybe knows a lot of random crap.
The chaplain has a 21.
All right.
20.
Awesome.
I'll find out what it is and then I'll justify it in post.
Nikhil, what did you get on your check?
I got a 15.
Okay, so Evie, you're the only one that doesn't really recognize the symbol.
Fair.
You've seen it before. It's kind of common, but like you can't place it within 8. Everyone else can recognize it as the mark of Selune, goddess of the moon.
Oh, that would
And
be
for
something my family knows.
Yeah. And if you think you would reasonably know that anyway, like, yeah, it's the moon goddess, even in a world with multiple deities, pretty well known. But for the chaplain and for Catherine, you note that she sees over a lot of domains, included in addition to the moon, one of which is marriage, which would likely explain why they seem to react to the ceremony spell. Even though, and I will note that I noted this, the marriage was cast, for lack of a better term, under the name of a different deity.
Yeah.
Point of
I mean,
order.
historically, when have deities not gotten along? I'm sure they can share.
Like, what time is it? Is it evening? Is it night time?
It's evening.
Oh,
It's nighttime. It's nighttime.
Is the moon out?
The moon is out.
Okay. But they're not visibly glowing or anything like that.
No, they're not visibly glowing. Give me, as you look up, give me a perception check.
I am not very perceptive, apparently, at the moon. It was a 6.
Make
Well,
the bird
Unless my owl can look.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll flavor it. I'll flavor it so that like whatever we're discussing here could have come up diegetically in conversation with characters. So if anyone else wants to make that perception check, you are welcome to as well. If you think you would notice.
Oh, that was a 9. So
That was an 18 for Dr.
thank
Those
God.
not 20s.
What's that?
At the moon.
It's an 18.
18. Jess, did you roll?
I got a 7.
All right, and what did Lafayette get?
I didn't roll for Lafayette, but I will. Dirty 20.
Ooh,
A dirty
that's
20.
foul.
Both Turniphead and Lafayette, as the topic of conversation shifts to Selune and the moon, look up not to the moon, but to the roof of the manor. Because while the exterior, clearly weather-worn, is clearly fancy and intentionally designed in a very neat way. You know, things are made out of granite and black metal and wood. But on the roofs, in spots that to you seem random, there are tarps. Kind of ugly black tarps over sections of the roof.
How big's this building?
I can probably get up there.
Fucking big.
What?
How big?
Large.
If someone points this out, what would it take to climb that, maybe?
Keeping in mind,
a
maybe, that
lot.
as a homunculus, I already scaled the gates with great ease.
This building is like 5 stories, but like there's also a lot of fancy places you could use as footholds and stuff. So like, it's not out of the realm possibility. You'd have to roll pretty well, but you can try to scramble.
All right,
Actually,
I'll
we
go
just
back
all
and
go inside and climb
homunculus.
up and got a window,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, Turniphead has done parkour before, so if you want to try your hand again.
I can climb.
Okay.
I'll try this as well. I have a backup plan if this doesn't work either. Yeah, I'll do acrobatics first. We'll see what I get.
Can I do athletics and not acrobatics? That is my main question.
Can you do athletics and not acrobatics?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Cool, because this is a strength guy, not a dex guy.
Bo is also following your lead and making an athletics check for his sake.
All right,
All right, that was
everybody,
a
let's climb.
22. That was a 22, Mike.
Right?
I got a 23.
Amazing.
Do you have rope or ladder, perhaps? I'll just go inside. I'll find a window. It's fine.
Where
It's
we're
fine.
going, we don't need ladders. And Bo, with his 10, climbs up the building, slips on something, and falls on his face. Not even a few clambers into the journey.
Oh,
Chef
it's a shame we
Turpin, in
don't
his
have any
very
money.
disjointed voice, is going to tell him to stand where he is. And then he's going to grab and, like Donkey Kong, throw himself up that fucking wall.
And then Lady Solstice is, I mean, she's a monster hunter. She's done shit like this. She's just gonna parkour scale it. Easy.
Oh, everyone can just scale. Okay, this is fine. I'm just
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll stay here with you.
gonna.
I
Thank
do
you.
send Lafayette.
Let's just see if we can't find a way out from inside the house. There's some stairs or something. And I'm gonna just.
For flavor, can it be said that my body at one point contained a rope, and I got to the top expecting to be able to throw something down, and it is not possible.
Well, hold your horses there, partner.
Why would I
You're-
steal
so-
a gut-covered rope from you? That's not.
Oh, I could use the
So-
entrails,
I was
actually.
about to say, oh yeah, there's a rope in there. Wait, that's
God.
intestines.
That's intestines.
Oh,
Okay, it sounds like we've got a little miniature split because it sounds like while Catherine and Turniped try this scrambling strategy, Chaplin and Evie are going back into the manor.
Yeah, there's zero way
go
I'm
up the
getting
way
up.
humans go up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Lame.
The limitations of not having a homunculus.
We are the two humans.
So in that
I'm-
case,
Variant human. I've got bat ears.
Same. I mean, not the bad ears part, but the variant part.
we'll resolve the clamberers first.
Yeah, I
And
did
just
notice
so
you
I'm
never actually
clear-
said we succeeded. We just got
Yeah,
That is fair.
Catherine-
I got 23 and
Catherine.
assumed, so I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
That's my bad. Maybe
Yeah.
this is awful.
The
They're good
entire
rolls.
building is covered in oil.
Listen, they're good rolls. And you'd be reasonable to assume under normal circumstances, but what has this night been if not normal? What did you mention about throwing someone
Yeah,
or something, Nikhil?
I mentioned this very specifically because I saw that you did not say that we actually succeeded. So what he's done is the chef has been placed back inside the homunculus, and the homunculus is not one for thinking much, and it just grabs the thing and starts to try and Donkey Kong up the way that he did before, or like King Kong, like it's a big thing, and he's
Yeah.
trying just to scale it by brute force.
Yeah, and you don't get the same kind of shimmy as you did on the gate, but you can find decorative footholds and whatnot to clamber up to. But as you get up, can you give me a real quick dex save?
Again, he's not a dex boy. He is a strength boy. That is a 10.
Cool. For what it's worth, you grab onto the foothold you were trying to grab onto. The problem is that foothold is seemingly melting.
Oh, good.
You grab onto it, and like taffy, it stretches and lowers you all the way back to the ground. You can try to scramble up the rest of the house, but it's almost as if the brick and granite and metal is trying to avoid your grip.
Wait, I'm sorry. So this is like Toon logic? It's descending me back down?
It seems like it. Well, no, it's
Ooh.
not so much descending you back down so much as like your weight. Actually, it's hard to tell. It looks like your weight is what's dragging it down, but you feel like it's pushing you down.
Okay, how high up did I get before I start colliding back with the ground?
2 out of 5 stories.
Okay, so this is not just a normal, like, oh, I was too heavy. This is, I succeeded
No.
and then suddenly was pushed down. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jake, you have a hand?
Yeah. Does Lafayette make it up okay without touching the building?
Yeah, Lafayette makes
Is
it up
flying
okay.
up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have a thing. On the way down, is there a window that I pass by, hopefully?
Sure, yeah, you pass a window.
Cool. Can I try to break in through the window?
Yeah, sure. It jellos out of your swing.
Oh, really?
My
Yeah,
theory
actually,
from last
give me-
time that the house
actually-
is responsible for this is growing, I think.
Let's make an
Really
opposed
is.
dex check for if you can break a window on your way down.
I thought it would be a strength check. Well, we can keep doing dex.
Oh, it's a dex check.
All right, that's 14 for the dex.
Wow. You should have broken this window.
I would think so.
But as you look, the window has contoured to the shape of your arm that has swung, and as you retract, it almost rubbers back into place.
All right.
The window just did that.
Make an Arcana check on any of this?
You have time to make one with disadvantage.
Okay, it's gonna be with the chef anyway, so he was gonna be fucking regardless.
You know what? You know what? You're right. Doing it with the chef is enough of a disadvantage. You can roll it normally, but
Mike,
like
I want to give you a chance to decide right now if the chef's enough without disadvantage, or if you want to give me disadvantage.
I saw that result. That just popped up on D&D Beyond.
I want you to decide real quick. The chef is +1.
This is a hallmark moment for you, good. Mike. Are you a kind DM or an evil DM?
I just threw a fucking moving building at you. Yeah, the roll is fine. What'd you get?
I got a nat 20.
Cool. So, hey, guess what? You don't see anything, but you can feel, similar to earlier, a silhouette. And from what you can tell, the silhouette of a person approximately the same size of the silhouette you felt before with the trays is pulling the window back. Feet planted on the wall, pulling the window back so that your arm cannot touch it. And you get a metaphorical glimpse of this figure as you are heading down the building.
Okay, but I do, I see it as a silhouette or something?
You feel it. It's like static that you get. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're fully ghost mode. Great.
Maybe. Catherine.
Yeah.
You get up to the third story. No, actually, give me a dex check as well.
Another dex check? Check or save? Those are different numbers for me.
Oh, dex save.
Dex save. Okay. Yeah. That's only a 13, unfortunately.
I was only going to do this if you did it good, but I'm too obsessed with it now. You get up to, you got a 23. You get up to like the second and a half story. You've kind of noticed these little anomalies, like what have impeded Turnip Head. You've scouted them fairly well. And as you are getting up, Catherine doesn't see it this way. But Wipeout and how they have the punchy wall of boxing gloves?
Oh, God.
God.
It's like you got one of them to the stomach.
I love the giant man gets gently lowered down, and so Solstice gets punched right out of the.
Oh, okay, Mike. I feel like this is this grounds for?
Yes,
this is grounds for a shift. Okay, yeah.
Falling 2.5 stories.
This is really.
By a house.
I have a hope. I have a hope for what this lands on. We're gonna see.
God.
Yes. All right. Cool. I'm not even gonna do anything. I have some bullshit I could try to do to recover, but for the sake of it, no. Yeah. She gets absolutely bodied by this house punch. Lands on the ground. I guess probably a good few feet away from Turniphead, who got sort of just gently slimed back on down to ground level. It's going to take her a second to recover from that, but Turniphead, if you look over, her skin is no longer green. It is a deep, rich blue color.
What? Oh, winter?
Winter mode, yep. She slowly picks herself off the ground. She is not, like, on the edge of tears anymore. She is not speaking yet, but dear God, she looks pissed.
Are you good?
Am I good? I was just disrespected by a house. I am not good, you monstrosity. This is appalling to someone of my stature, and there will be a fourth murder if I have my way tonight, that being this building itself. And then she's just gonna storm inside.
Okay. He's also going in, but he's not going to provide any further information. He's not telling her about the ghost. She seems to be in a mood.
Yep.
And with that vignette settled, let's fold back about 2 to 3 minutes in time. Oh,
Lafayette did technically make it
There's
up.
someone
Oh,
still
yeah,
there.
oh yeah,
I want
sure.
to see if I can get any more information.
Sure, yeah.
A close-up investigation by Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
17? Actually, 18.
18. So you see, the tarps laid out. You could probably say where they are or are not laid out if you wanted to. But you also find that, listen, I'm not going to let Lafayette just tear it off and what's under there, but you do see that the nearest one or the lowest one on the building is located on the roof of the 3rd floor. We have sort of a tower thing going on, or a pyramid thing going on. So, there's a section of roof on the 3rd floor, which, feasibly you could get to. You don't know how hard any of these floors will get to, but the lowest one is there on the 3rd.
Wait, this actually makes me wonder. So are we doing like a classic mansion kind of thing, or is this house weirdly shaped?
Is this house weird?
The house is the shape of the house weird.
I mean, except for what I have just described about the roof, it is mostly normally shaped. Okay. Maybe you have questions of taste in terms of
you mentioned pyramid, and so for a second I was like, "Oh, have we been doing all this at a pyramid?" And I've just not been paying attention.
Okay. Yeah, no, not literal pyramid, but in terms of there are tiers. So on the outside you have a lower roof, and then as you get in, it sort of builds to a point. But that is what we did the roof. Let's fold back about 2 or 3 minutes in time. The chaplain and Evie are heading back inside. Chaplain, you have a spell active that is kind of letting you passively sense these traces, and in the foyer, it's just fucking everywhere. Paths across the floor, along the walls, on the ceiling. It's everywhere. It would be hard to even lock into a specific thread.
Ma, this is fascinating. This place is swarming with magic, but not a type of magic that I can identify.
Maybe something that I know. Can I also cast Detect Magic?
Sure.
And just also see lots of things. I believe I have that spell. Yes, here it is. I guess that, and then can I do an Arcana check to see if I recognize what this magic is at all? Because I think I have a very good Arcana. I just haven't had a reason to roll it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna roll that and beyond as well. Actually, 21.
21. Unfortunately, this is still a mysterious kind of magic. I will give you the same flavor in terms of what Clara was getting at in terms of that chemical bleach extremity. It is as if wherever this residue is, pure energy. Unmitigated pure energy of some origin you don't recognize. But it is as if everything but that raw power has been purged.
Oh, yeah, it is just nothing but energy everywhere. I do hate this. Let's see if we go upstairs, if we just see more of that or less of it. Let's find out.
Yeah, I have an idea of where we might try. I'm getting my feathered friend seems to have observed that the 3rd floor roof may have something interesting.
Yeah, let's go up there.
Surely
there's stair access. I know our friends are probably up there by now, but this is a far more dignified way to do it.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I would say we continue through the different rooms, and if nothing blatantly pings our now both of us magically sensing, we look for some stairs.
Yeah.
Well, let's say, for the sake of argument, that the first room you go to is the dining room, at which you would find Eleanor leaning at the center of the table where Victor fell. They always return to the scene of the crime, so I figured if I wait here, something will happen.
Oh, hello. We're just going upstairs to try to find the third floor. Apparently there's stuff up there. Do you know where the stairs are, Eleanor?
The stairs. The stairs that stare back when you stare into the abyss of the stairs.
Do they stare back? Also, just with detect magic on, if I'm looking at Eleanor, am I seeing anything? Because she's like weird, but I don't know if she's just like rich weird or if she's magic weird.
She doesn't seem magic weird.
Oh.
This isn't your run-of-the-mill rich weird, but she has 0 traces of this energy. And as you're studying her, and as she's pondering where the stairs are, she flops onto her back, onto the table, where Victor came down, and with your gazes directed there, you notice a distinct form of the energy. This room is weirdly devoid of it, but in the center of the table, there is a ring of that energy.
Ooh, and is she in that ring?
She's in that ring right now.
Lady Duchess, you're in the strange ring of energy. I don't know if you're magically inclined, but you may not wish to be where you currently are. Or perhaps you do. Maybe something good can come from that energy, though the last person who was standing there died. So perhaps you should, with some haste, get off the table.
She pads her finger on the table. Licks it. Tastes familiar somehow. But best not stay in the place of a dead man. Thank you, Toots. The stairs are through the doors there, through the left doors, in the library. You'll see a fancy spiral staircase that'll get you up to the 2nd floor.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Do you want to come with? We are doing detective-y things. Detective.
Detective-y things? Well, it does sound like the place for a hard-nosed individual like myself. I dare say we shall. And so, the chaplain, Evie, and Eleanor, and probably Amelia as well, will go to the library in hopes of getting to the 2nd floor. But before then, we need to take our break.
Ooh.
When we come back, the investigation resumes.
Hey everybody, this is Matt with the 2nd intermission for Murder Under Moonlight Shade. There are no new updates today, but for a very good reason, that being, I am recording this intermission on the same day that I recorded episode 1's intermission. I was out of town between the airings of episode 1 and episode 2, so I had to do the post-production of them back to back. Thus, I don't really have much new stuff to say, because from my perspective, it's only been a few hours since I did the last one. Of course, this means that by the time episode 3 of Murder Under Moonlight Shade airs in 2 weeks, it will have been a month since now, so hopefully that means we'll have some updates to share with you then, but for now it's just boilerplate, so we'll go through it quickly. Patreon, we got one of those. Patreon.com/the D&Dorks will get you early, ad-free access to all of our episodes, as well as exclusive after shows with the cast where we talk about the episode we just recorded and whatever else comes to mind. Of course, in addition to new after shows, you also get access to the entire backlog, and we've been doing those for years, so there's hours and hours and hours of bonus content. And then all I really have left to do is shout out the artist for our campaign, who did a fantastic job on our characters. You can find him on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, etc., and his @ is on the screen currently. And there we go, now we're done. Look for more information on future D&Dorks things in Murder Under Moonlight Shade Episode 3, which will air in 2 weeks, but for now, let's get back to the episode.
And welcome back from the break. When we left off, Eleanor, the chaplain, and Evie went to investigate the library that will allegedly bring them to stairs to the second floor. As for Torniped and Catherine and their assorted sidekicks, they're now outside. Catherine is now blue, and the house is seemingly conspiring against you.
Now the house. Mysterious blue energy man. Or not blue.
Mysterious blue energy individual, yes.
This is going to go so well, I'm sure. Everyone's going to approach this in an incredibly rational way, and there will be no issues.
Bo says, okay, so the house that you were on started melting, and now she's blue? Are those things related?
The chef is going to shoot him the saddest, most pitiful look that a dying body's face can shoot. And he's just like, no.
Oh, okay. You know, part of being science is like asking questions and stuff. So, I figure like I'd ask questions,
Okay. And he's just going to turn and walk back into the house.
As that shambles of conversation happens, Molly bursts out of the doorway. Have any of you seen Jason?
When was
Who
the last
was supposed to be watching
time?
Jason?
I don't know. Everyone started kind of doing investigation stuff.
To be fair,
He was in a custody.
I think the last person who would have seen Jason would have been Molly, right?
Yeah, because we all left to go watch the woman almost blow herself up. And we left Molly with Jason.
And assuming you say that to her, she says, I was with him and we went out of the kitchen into the foyer and it's such a fucking madhouse in there that I lost track of him.
See, now Molly looks suspicious.
You want to take a look, Einstein?
Yeah, no, I do though. So actually, when she says Einstein, the note will pop back out because he needs to be able to do Arcana stuff. He knows this now, and he's gonna run back into that house. And the beast could follow him.
Well, I should ask, does Catherine follow inside as well, or is she?
Oh, she barged inside immediately, so okay. I imagine she ran into Molly like as she was leaving, and yeah, it doesn't say anything immediately. She'll go inside as well.
As the two of you separately get inside, there's credence to her saying it's a madhouse out there. People are not very happy. Around, what's this at this point, like 39 or so people are all kind of rushing about. Some of them have formed groups that are clearly conspiratorial and forming theories about other people within the room. People have kind of bounded together by their class or seeming class. And in a couple pockets of the room, just straight up fistfights have broken out amongst guests, presumably over accusations gone wrong.
Okay. What is going to happen now, because I still need to be the gnome, is the gnome is going to have the homunculus sort of take a knee so he can climb onto his shoulders, and then they're going to wade through this entire crowd. Hoping that no one can touch them. And then also, because I saw the thing earlier in character, but also just have the knowledge that these guys already have, I'm also going to cast Detect Magic.
I'm the only one who doesn't have it, great.
This way, after seeing the little blue energy guy, he's going to see what energy is around this world now. And I know what he sees, but this way he knows.
I mean, yeah, you don't pick up anything necessarily different from what the other two got with their detective magic checks, but it's on now. Where are you trying to get to as you go through this crowd, as you wade through this crowd?
Let's see, what was the last thing that happened? I got punched or I saw the dude in a window on like the second story, so I'll try to get there.
Yeah. Okay. You look around, and while there are no stairs here, there's one of those things where, like, the level above you, there's sort of a ring of a platform that leads to different doors on the second floor. You don't see any doors in the foyer. Or, I'm sorry, you don't see any stairs in the foyer. You see doors. In fact, you see 2 on the right, 2 on the left, one of which you know leads to the kitchen, and 1 in the back, which you know, 2 in the back, one of which you know leads to the dining room.
Okay. I guess I'm going to try opening doors to see it when I see stairs, excluding the 2 that I know. I'll just work in the room, opening and slamming doors until someone either stops me or I find stairs.
In fact, someone stops you quite quickly. A seeming leader of one of these conspiratorial groups that have formed, and look to you as a doctor. Doctor! We have a lead in the investigation.
Okay. Do you know where stairs are?
No, but, well, we had a lead. Well, we had a question about the invest. We had a thing we kind of wanted to check, but we're kind of scared too. And you have like a homunculus.
Okay, but then so none of you have been to the second floor?
Well, no, we haven't been to the second floor. We kind of just been staying in the foyer. You know, we don't know what other dangers lurk in here, so we're just like trying to stay where all the people are. But we were also, discussing stuff amongst ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, so what did you need? What did you
Well, a couple of us got together and we got our heads together and we started thinking, hey, it's kind of conspicuous how right next to the entrance there's kind of an entire room of like weapons and stuff like that nobody's really checked, and was wondering if maybe we should check the weapon check. Like maybe.
Oh yeah, there was that.
Did people actually put their weapons
in
the weapon check?
You can't bring your... Well, some people did, yeah.
Mostly, no, I asked that in character. As the man who is standing on a giant homunculus he snuck in.
Well, I'm sure that like some of the poorer people like snuck in weapons or something, but as people of the high society and like people who know how things are supposed to go etiquette-wise, a lot of people probably did like leave weapons and the weapons in the coat check, and I don't know, maybe one of them could have been used to like do a murder or something. I'm
so sorry. Now that he said the poor people thing, the homunculus is just going to push him out of the way. And then he's just going to be like, I'm sorry, sometimes it does that. Anyway.
Oh, no, that's okay. Maybe I can get one of the other people to...
As he's looking for stairs, Lady Solstice is going to turn to Molly, who I assume is still at the entrance, kind of looking over, just going, what on earth happened in here? We were gone for mere minutes.
Well, they're understandably rattled. The host is dead, 2 more people are dead, and the horses and carriages are all exploded. They can't get out.
Pathetic. No one knows how to deal with a crisis. Should we rally them together, calm everyone down?
That would seem wise, yes.
All right, I'll get their attention.
I'm not really...
Lady Solstice is going to step forward, and about how many people are in this room?
39-ish, if we take out the player characters and sidekicks and whatnot.
39 people. They're all in groups. Some of them are literally fighting. I might as well use an ability I haven't used yet. This will get everybody's attention really quick. So, I'm going to transform into my hybrid mode.
Your what?
What is that?
So, as she steps forward, Lady Solstice gains, probably 2-3 more feet in height. She grows deer antlers. Her musculature becomes even more defined, and her whole body just takes on a slightly more monstrous appearance. Just openly, in the middle of this. And then her voice booms out over the entire room. Just, everyone, silence! We have things to attend to, and this rabble is helping no one. If I have to do an intimidation check for that, I can.
Can you just see if I am affected? Because I would like to keep trying to open doors. The crowd has now been chiller. But if I'm intimidated, I'll be intimidated.
Matt, you can roll intimidation. It's I don't know if you get anything mechanically added to that check now that you use that ability, but either way,
I do have bonuses for this. D&D Beyond is telling me there's a button that I can push which will switch my stats to this mode, and for the life of me, I don't actually know where this button is. It just says it's in the character builder. You know what? I can just find it with these. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna roll that.
What is the saving throw for intimidation? Is it just also intimidation?
What's the saving
It's
throw?
it's on the class page.
Actually, what is the saving throw on an intimidation?
I'm hoping it won't matter.
It might if it's well, I think it might be.
I guess you could make a charisma save.
Okay.
I don't know if that mechanically checks out.
There's
but
not
if
like
you
a
want something-
set save for it, so that's kind of just
Yeah,
DM's choice.
Yeah, I feel like you almost never roll against intimidation. So either like it can be left up to me, it can be left up to you, or you can roll a charisma save if you want to leave it up to dice.
Well,
but otherwise,
I rolled
it's
a 3
whatever math.
regardless, and I'm a gnome now. So
All right, cool.
Fine.
25.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, you have total command of the room.
This room is just kind of in like a big cluster right now.
Pretty much,
All
yeah.
right.
Just whole fist fights have like paused mid-swing
Okay.
to turn and look at you.
We should begin by taking stock of everyone who's here, so everyone organize into single file lines. Go on! Chop chop!
You hear the crowd shuffles. You hear one of them. I don't want to line up with a bulldozer.
Shut your mouth!
Okay.
And then she's gonna scan the room to see if Jason is here anywhere.
He is not. I won't make you roll a perception check. You're a couple feet taller. You can see.
I love lichen form. And this is only on a short rest cooldown. How cool is that?
Mm-hmm.
So
Jason is not there. Grace is there.
Oh, okay. Then I'm gonna point at Grace, who I scared the shit out of earlier too, so she's probably not feeling great about this. Point at Grace goes, yes, you. Come here.
Oh. This poor halfling woman comes
3
to
times
your
her height.
presumably like knee.
I put my hand on my hips and look down and goes, now where on earth is your boss?
I don't know. I kind of lost track tabs on him, and in really stressful situations, I kind of check out. So I don't know where he is.
Is everyone here going to be consistently unhelpful? Has anyone seen the detective who made such a grand show in the dining room earlier?
Well, we haven't seen him, but we do want to be helpful. Me and my group have been conferring, and we have kind of a concern that we want to bring up. Well, more of sort of like a thread to investigate that maybe someone capable and strong and tall and so like we were thinking about quotes and weapon check and how there's a room presumably full of weapons, maybe not every weapon in the mansion, but weapons that could kill people, and maybe I don't think anyone's lived in there, so maybe someone should, maybe someone tall and beautiful and very commanding in the room.
Sorry.
Lady Solstice looks at whoever just spoke with total disgust and goes, you! No, dear Lord, no. Molly, that is a fair point, though. Has anyone checked the weapons? I didn't put any of my weapons in there, of course, God, no. But has anyone thought to? And would you care to, if not?
Yeah, I can check. I haven't checked it before, but yeah, it seems like. I mean, did anyone? The room. Everyone kind of feeling a little bit stupid that no one checked up to this point, but the room generally nods no. Nobody has checked. And if you send Molly to go check,
Yeah,
she
I'll send
will.
Molly and Clara with her as well, if that will add anything.
Yeah. Molly
I'll
says,
stay in the main room so no one does any shit.
Molly says, "Oh shit." Clara, for her part, says, "Oh dear heavens, Mom."
I'll
You
walk back over, lean down, poke my giant head through the door.
And as you poke your giant head through the door, you see an array of weapons, an array of coats in a great many colors, but unevenly maroon, splattered with the former life force of one Jason, detective. He has been stabbed through the side. He has been nailed to the wall, and written in blood on the wall behind him is "To scam is to sin."
Well, isn't this fun for the one person who's not a scammer?
Yeah, this is great for me. The one person who would be terrified or wouldn't be terrified at this, there's a call out painted on the wall, and I'm like, well, that's not for me.
I'm not a scammer either. I need to point out there.
Jess, you may not be a murderer, you're a scammer.
I am saving souls.
That is a scam.
Evie coming up to it like, wonder who that's for.
Quote Ralph Wiggum, I'm in danger.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not scamming anyone.
I will say, Turniphead's not the official definition of a scammer. He just scammed one time, and it was to get into this.
No.
I have not sinned against my God. I remember Mike's whole thing about theology. It actually is really great for Evelyn. Thank you.
So yeah,
Catherine?
looking in at this scene, let's be real for a second. The first thing Catherine's gonna check, she did put a coat here earlier. Does it have bloodstains on it now?
Yours was very close to the splash zone, but while you weren't the first person here, you were fairly early, so your coat is away from any specklings of blood.
Finally, something goes right tonight. All right. So Lady Solstice is going to turn back to the room at large.
Or, wait, no. Sorry, I'm remembering the intro. Because you came later, your coat is less deep in the closet and is safe.
Okay. Good.
So safe. Opposite reason.
Yes.
Lady Solstice is going to turn back to the room. Kind of like put her head in her hands for a second. Well, we found him. And then she's just going to kind of look over to see if anybody has like a suspicious reaction. Don't really expect anyone to, but she just paused for dramatic effect there.
If you pause, it's gonna be like, where?
He's dead in the weapons check.
Ow.
Stabbed several times, it seemed.
Okay.
Someone wrote a lovely message on the wall. Regardless of all that, you, everyone in this room right now, is there anyone among your peers or enemies or what have you that you don't see present currently? Or do we have the entire roster of this party here? Knowing full well the rest of my sort of group is not here. But, does anyone else point out anyone missing?
They all confer amongst each other, but no one seems quite confident enough to speak up since, they can't account for everyone in the party. But then a voice speaks up. I believe I can verify such information for you. It's Bartholomew the Very Large Butler!
Hey!
God.
I've been wondering where he is, but I never knew where he went. Only the owl knew.
Real quick, if Bartholomew's around and I still detect magic on, because I assume it's not been over 10 minutes, how does he rig up?
Same as before, he has that big swirling mass of magic in his chest.
Does he come across as a magical construct himself? Or is it just the swirling?
It's just the swirling.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Lady Solstice turns to him.
You know what? If you want to make me another Arcana check to get further information about this exactly, like,
of course I do. That is a 27.
27.
What's my gnome know?
You
what do your
don't
gnome eyes
get
see?
the sense that he's a magical construct, but with the room more still now and you having time to really focus on him, you can see going away from the mass of energy in the center is little rivers of the energy going to his limbs and other extremities, almost set up like arteries or a nervous system of some kind.
Okay. this might be pushing it, and tell me if it's pushing it, but as someone who has constructed men and the organs of men to ride around in, can I get the sense that this is being puppeted by the magic?
You could draw that conclusion. You know, considering that it looks like something like a nervous system, even though it's not one-to-one to humans, you in your, morally gray area of what human constitutes is like, well, this probably fundamentally works on the same logic of like making something go,
Okay. Good.
I assume you're not communicating this information to me
Hell
yet.
no!
Okay, I didn't
you just
think so.
intimidated me. You're about my size now, and it's frightening.
I imagine, because when I threatened you earlier, I was much smaller, and you're like, oh shit.
No, yeah, plus you are still the monster hunter. You were the one that scared me in the first episode. Like, oh, fuck,
if Turniphead is not interjecting to this, I'm just going to gesture to Bartholomew wherever he has stepped out of. Well?
I can verify that most of our guests are present here now. The exclusions being the dead, the chaplain, Evelyn, pardon me, and Lady Eleanor Duchess.
Okay, so those, that's just the people who were with me earlier, other than the dead, of course. So that's good. Everyone's here. In that case, I'm going to address the room, and I will do another intimidation check for this if necessary. We'll see how long I can make this last. But Lady Solstice, still monster form, claps her hands and goes, excellent. In that case, under no circumstances are any of you, regardless of status or stature or what have you, allowed to leave this room. You will remain here until this is solved. And if you attempt to leave this room, I will pick you up by your coattails and throw you in with as much force as I can muster. Do I make myself clear?
You get a general... You get nods and whimpers of affirmation from the crowd.
In that case, I will nod and shrink back down to my normal size.
When she says nobody's allowed to leave the room, Lafayette, who has moved from being on top of the homunculus's head because now Dr. Turniphead is riding on his shoulders, kind of just like hopped over to the side and is like right next to you, Turniphead. Lafayette is gonna grab like your clothes with his beak and start like hugging you in a direction. You can do with that as you will.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because I was just reading how minor illusion worked and I wanted to do some fuck shit. But okay, Mike. Sorry. According to minor illusion, I can create an image as long as it's no larger than a 5-foot cube, but my guy's 3 feet tall. So can I make the illusion of my guy on this homunculus' shoulders while I shimmy down and try to leave the room secretly?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's actually really smart, too, because illusion, they don't hold up to physical inspection, but if you're on top of this giant guy, that's actually kind of genius.
So I'm gonna make it look as if I'm still standing there, and I'm gonna shimmy down the back, and I'm gonna go where the owl's telling me to go.
Which Mike knows where the owl wants him to go, because I don't actually know, but Lafayette saw where the butler went earlier, and that is where Lafayette wants to lead Turniphead in this moment.
So you are getting out of the room. You have set up this decoy. Give me a stealth check with advantage.
With advantage. Okay, he's not a stealthy man, but we'll see. With advantage, it's a 13. But do I have to tell you that I also rolled a nat one? Or
no. I mean, you can tell me, but it doesn't matter.
We will celebrate the advantage with you.
I mean, let me do the freaking roll. Because you're not rolling against most of the room, because most of the room is not in any state to care about anyone except for Lady Catherine Solstice, who is running the fucking show now.
Attention grabbed.
But Lady Catherine's also smaller now, right? You said she shrunk down.
Yes.
You said you were in the back of the room. Like, if you're going behind your homunculus, like, she's tall, but she's not going to be able to see a little gnome sneak away. Like, I'm not even going to bother. She's not really looking for that, so I won't even bother doing a perception check for myself. I don't care.
That's fair. Molly, just slightly more wired, with a perception roll of 14. Does notice you leaving and tails you, not so subtly, but she does also, for what it's worth, seems that she gets out without anyone noticing where she's going.
Okay.
The weird thing
She's
is
not gonna bore
Lafayette
your
rolled an 18 for stealth. So she saw Turniphead leave, but not the
She
owl
sees
that
the
was
bouncy
leading
hat
him.
going. The owl is completely gone.
What is the gnome up to?
I do love that we can see the top part of the gnome head in your shot, Nikhil, because it's very accurate.
It's been just the hat for a while, but this is now the gnome.
Technically, the camera framing is the top of the hat. It's kind of great.
Yeah, it's perfect.
This is like literally exactly what I imagined he looks like. I'm so happy I found this.
All right, where's this little dude going?
Yeah, so Lafayette is leading Turniphead along the path that Bartholomew took, which takes them to the door on the left of the room that does not go to the kitchen, which instead opens up into a hallway. On either side of you, and intermittently, there are doors into rooms, possibly guest rooms or some such. And at the very end of the hallway, Lafayette brings you to the door that Bartholomew would have gone through.
Okay, do I have any... I don't know anything, because the owl is just pulling me, right? So I don't know why this room is significant.
Yeah, the owl has brought you to a door at the end of a rather long and narrow hallway.
I'm going in.
You go in, but not very far. It's a closet.
All right, well, I'm immediately Arcana checking to see if there's anything hidden magically in this closet. Perhaps an entrance to a bigger room, one would hope.
Give me an Arcana check.
We got 20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20? There are no entrances into other rooms or any such like that. Not even any of the active residue that you felt here, but you do almost get like as if the scent of it has wafted through, perhaps even recently.
Okay. It's just a closet?
Closet, yeah.
I'm not there.
You can make a perception check.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep that too, but this is going to be very funny.
The issue is, like, knowing in my head that what's-his-face was there is one thing. But knowing in the character's mind that an owl pulled him to a closet and he's the same traces he's been seeing on basically everything is pretty upsetting.
Yeah.
Is this just like where Bartholomew is stored when he's not active?
That's what out of character, that is what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm trying to realize, if he got the sense, is there a way, and I can roll again for this, is there a way to get a sense of how often, whatever this, like, wafting, like, how often something of this stature comes by this area?
Sure. Yeah, you can make me a roll for that.
All right, well, there's one thing I can do. It's Arcana, except when you roll a 2, that's a 13.
It's a 13. I mean, it's been through here recently, but like, you know, the smell of something doesn't stay like long after it's been there, or even if it's been there a lot of the time. So like, you know, it's strong enough that you can sense it. That seems significant, even if it's like happened recently, but like, you can't say for sure that it's constantly over here or what.
Is there any distinguishable trail from, I don't know if we're past 10 minutes yet, but in general, I've been tracking these things. Is there any distinguishable trail leading in or out of this closet, or is it all still a complex mess of energy?
I mean, that quote unquote scent you get does go back down the hallway,
but not anywhere else.
I mean, yeah, to the end of the hallway is back into the foyer. And by the time you get there, it's kind of almost, you know, too much shit going on to pick up more of that trail.
Okay. Fascinating. I don't know what to do in this moment. Ask this guy. He's just like,
Then it would be
damn it,
a
bird.
great time for us to check in on our detective crew heading to the library in search of some stairs. And we can say at some point during Catherine's spiel, let's say while the whole room is has their attention on Catherine and Catherine in turn on the room, you three in secret cross from the back door to the dining room into the right door, which leads you to a library. A not very typical looking library. Give me a perception check to make some sense of your immediate surroundings.
Gladly.
And I'll roll one for Eleanor as well.
That is a 19 plus, what is my perception? 22.
The 16 for me.
You got a 22 for perception. You got a 16. I'm not
And is
going
Amelia
to...
with us still?
Is Amelia with you? Oh yeah, Amelia's with you.
Okay.
She's been pretty quiet this whole time. A lot of shit's going on.
I'm so in character for her. Not a big talker, Amelia.
And with a 22 and a 16, you find yourself in this library, a cube-shaped library. The first thing that would pop out to you is the glass doors. You think they function as doors in front of the bookshelves, but as you follow them up and up through the shockingly not as tall library, you think of the stereotypical rich person's library. There are multiple stories with, you got to reach huge ladders. This is about the normal size of a room, but looking up, you can see the solution to their storage problem. There are books in the ceiling. Similar to those affixed to the walls, there are glass panes.
Cool.
Glass-paned bookshelves that are keeping the books from falling on top of you, and beneath you, you are on a glass floor, also with books beneath your feet.
That's so cool. All right, so I want to take a quick look around and see if any of these books, with the I assume myself the sense or detect magic up. If any of these books seem more magic-y than the others.
You can ping on a couple places, on a couple of different shelves, books that do glow with a kind of magical residue. Yes.
All right, I'm going to look at... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm going to look at Countess Amelia von Bloodletter and go, okay, Amy, that one, that one, that one, that one, they're all glowing. You're a wizard. You love books. Do your wizard thing. Look into those and tell me if that is anything that will help us get to the bottom of this. And if there's any spells or things in there that you can learn, I mean, hell yeah. You and I have been in worse situations than this before.
Jess, I feel so called out for not learning this character sheet more. But if you know of a specific spell you want her to do, let me know. Otherwise, she can run an Arcana check on these books if that is what you're fishing for.
Yeah, Arcana will be good, I think. I mean, she's a wizard, and wizards can learn spells by reading them. And so if there's any kind of magic in these books that are relevant to what's happening in this house, I feel like she's the one who's most likely to understand it.
She got a 24 on her Arcana check.
Ooh, doesn't she have a +5 to Arcana? That's good.
Yeah, she rolled a 19. So with that, she reaches for one of the books at current eye level that you pointed out as glowing and says, let's see, it's a bunch of... It's like a call. It's an incantation. It can... It's like you want to, how do you say, ping your location to a certain magical individual or some such. And as she's talking, as she is trying to wrap her head around this, she loses her balance. Or not so much loses her balance as the floor rotates beneath her, as the entire library rotates to a new configuration. It's a slow one, so you're not going to be immediately dropped onto a surface. You don't need to give me a dexterity check, but as she is yapping her way through this, still looking at the book, she just kind of strides with the motion, but the rest of you are dumped onto a different glass pane of the library as it has shifted 90 degrees for a new orientation.
Fascinating. Did you just do that?
Did I do what?
The library shifted it moved.
No, I did not do it, but I think the book did. Hold this. She hands you the book and goes to reach for another one. She grabs a step stool that is somewhere in the room and gets up to a higher level. So if the bottom row rotates us 90 degrees, then perhaps the second row, and much less gently, the room flips 180 degrees. Give me a dex save to see how gracefully you land.
Oh, my dex save is that's counted as Amelia's dex. That's not my dex. I was about to say, I was like, that looks not right. I got a 16.
11.
Amelia got a 9.
11.
Amelia and Eleanor rolled the exact same base number. Amelia and Eleanor land not well. They do not land on your feet.
Oh no.
Jess, what did you say you got?
16.
And Jake?
11.
You are able to roll out of your landing, Jake. Not terribly gracefully, but you're okay. And Evie lands on her feet, poised and composed. Right next to her, Amelia splats on her face.
Oh, Amelia, dear. You really mustn't do that.
It was in the name of science.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It's kind of fun. Maybe if we position it right, we could land on each other. It could be a whole thing. Anyway, what did you learn?
That the room shifts depending on what book on what wall you pick out. Which is something. You can also give me a retroactive perception check to see if you noticed anything throughout the room as we were shifting.
Perception, I've got a 15 on the dice, plus 3 is 18.
I have a 17.
18 and a 17. You don't see any of the magical energy, but you do feel it at work. In fact, just beyond the walls of the library, you can feel it somewhere cranking something. Like it's cranking a lever to make the library do this.
Oh, that's interesting.
Were both of the books that she has interacted with so far been the magic books that pinged, or just the first one?
Both of them were.
Both of them? Okay. The chaplain's gonna reach for just a regular book.
Mm-hmm.
And say, now, just in case, please all brace yourselves. And he pulls a regular book off the shelf.
Huh?
Does anything happen?
No. You pull this normal book, a pocket edition of the Decrees of the Pantheon, and no shift, no nothing.
And just for thoroughness, he flips through it to make sure that it's not blank or something. This is an actual book.
It is an actual book. Yes, it does seem that this library does hold actual books.
All right.
Eleanor speaks up. Well, I could have. I genuinely need to find her voice again. Hold on. Well, I could have told you any of that. I could have told you any of that at all. Now, what are you thinking, Miss Amelia Blueletter? Do you just solve a Rubik's Cube by pulling it to and fro willy-nilly? It's not simply a matter of pulling the books from the shelves and making the room shift. Depending on what book you take, it can take you anywhere in the mansion, obviously.
Yes, and if we wanted to go up to the 3rd floor, which books do you suspect we should take?
Well, whoever built this place had a real fucked up sense of humor. Not that fucked up, just like fucked up in the sense that it's fucked up to put someone through this because it's not very good. That is to say, he had a poet's soul. If we want to go up, we should look toward the heavens, things to do with the heavens or the gods or what have you, and perhaps the magical books in those sections will bring us up there. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Are there any sort of theology sections?
Theology sections. Oh, you want a friggin' theology section? This is some rich... Who... I wish I knew more slang. This is some rich who's it? Of course, they have theological texts. You gotta, what do you got there? A pocket degree of the Pantheon? Degrees from the Pantheon?
That looks like it. Okay, are there any magical books near that one?
There is a magical book near that one, and you can see that the spine of this book is labeled Eyes of Heaven.
Feels too good to be true. Do you want to do the honors, or shall I?
Oh, no, I've done my part. You can do it.
Okay, I'm just going to pull the book.
You pull the book. The library starts to shift. And almost as if something has been realized, it very quickly shifts back.
I put the book back. Put the other books back, if you would.
You put the other books back. One of them goes in the floor now, but you put them back.
And then I pull out the Eyes of Heaven again.
It doesn't move at all this time.
You know, as if there was a crank somewhere being pulled out, like around the boundaries of this room.
A crank being pulled. I feel like all of our cranks are being pulled in this whole episode.
I have a sense of which direction that crank was being pulled from.
Yeah, you have a sense.
Which direction is that? Is that just like pointing in a direction?
That is to the right. If we were talking about the view from the foyer, it goes into the room directly adjacent to yours on that right wall.
Okay, I want to start clearing off a bunch of books and things because I don't want to damage the books from that shelf. Careful to avoid the magical ones. Kaplan.
Yes.
I don't have anything that makes a large bang in my repertoire of abilities. Do you have any way we could just destroy this wall?
Share with me what you're thinking.
Wow. The room is being reorganized. There is some sort of creature who's been moving a crank to reorganize the room, and when we tried to organize it in the direction that we wanted it to, they panicked and didn't do it. So we blow down this wall, we crank that crank ourselves, and we get up to the 3rd floor of this goddamn mansion.
Well, I don't happen to have such explosive magics, as you will, but I may have ways to manipulate said crank.
So we could do that. I feel a little silly for taking all these books down now, but that's fine.
Let's see.
I need to check a spell.
Worst case scenario, we could go find the gnome. I feel like he would enjoy blowing something up. Maybe our Eladrin friend could get some, I don't know, seems like she's crying a lot, get some stress out by not by blowing up a wall or something. In fact, actually, I'm gonna go grab them before we go any further, just in case. And while you're go ahead.
I said that may be wise.
Yeah. So while you're preparing your spells, I'm gonna go back to the main hall and try to reunite the party for a moment. But I will let Mike catch up on that first.
I checked the spell. I was just seeing if there was anything Amelia could do to get us through that wall, but no.
No, most of her stuff is very specifically themed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Claire, so I just want to make sure. So the way that we detected this mechanism and everything, was that through the detect magic that we had going on, or did it just do something else?
That was through the detect magic, and the whole crank thing is kind of inferred from the motion you felt.
Yeah.
Okay, and I would say it's reasonable to assume that the chaplain has the same information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this is up to you, Mike. But I would like to try something.
Okay.
So I read the description of of Mage Hand, and it doesn't require me to see where the hand manifests. So I would like to. It just needs to be within 30 feet of me, or it disappears. So I would like to put myself right up against the wall and manifest the hand where I feel this crank, and see if I can crank the crank.
Yeah.
But I'm obviously waiting until we bring people here, but that is my...
Okay. Yeah. I don't think there's even a check
do that while no one's here yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really a luck check. I don't know if I can pull the sleight of hand check again. Like, it'd be a pretty big crank. You're not likely to miss it. So that's what happens if or when everyone gets to the library. But Evie is going back into the lobby after Catherine has really laid down the law, and after Bartholomew has confirmed our attendance, and also as Torniped and Molly went down that hallway, and Lafayette, of course.
So, walking into the main hall, I have no reason to believe that Turniped is not on the shoulder of this homunculus and is not this homunculus. So I'm going to say, Lady Solstice, Dr. Turniped, I think we need you in the library for a moment, if you're willing to come with us. And I'm just going to assume you're following me.
For the
Lady
record,
Solstice
is not. She does not follow commands from random people.
Yeah.
He's just standing there.
I have no reason to expect otherwise, though.
Lady Solstice, who is now blue, which you had not seen before, starts walking after you. As I'm about to leave the room, I do turn to everybody, who I assume is still organized in the lines that I told them to get into, and I go, again, nobody move! And then I'm going to follow you and hope that everybody stays there.
You something to your hair?
No, it is the exact same as it was.
Huh. You look great, whatever's happening. I'm sorry.
I'm well aware.
Excellent. Although, you've gotten them organized. I don't really know what's happening.
It takes us a little guiding hand. Now, what did you want?
Do you have any... we may have found a secret way to get up. There's a whole puzzle going on in the library. We're going to either blow up a door, or the captain has an idea to maybe not blow up a wall. And I figured you would want to be part of this investigation, since it's, Yeah. And also, a Turniped would... Turniped? Turniped? Doctor? Chef? Chef Dr. Turniped? Is he okay?
Absolute zero reaction.
Yeah, at this point I'll also turn back and realize that presumably, like, the gnome... I imagine that most of the people in this room are either looking, like, at each other, having hushed conversations, or still looking at me, and then there's the gnome, who is, I guess, still looking at where I was several minutes ago.
To be fair, the idea is this, so you don't truly know.
Well, I mean, I imagine that the
Basic
homunculus is also kind of just staring
The
dead straight
homunculus
ahead.
is equally as dead-eyed as always,
Okay.
staring towards the front. Yes.
All right, fine. We'll double down on this. Lady Catherine will turn towards Turniphead and goes, "Doctor!" Oh, that usually works. I'm not sure what's going on with him. People usually listen to me when I do that.
Are you mad at us?
This is a hilarious conversation.
Just snap again.
Maybe he's asleep. Here. I'm going to cast Encode Thoughts and leave a tiny encoded message from my mind as a little glowing source of energy just right in front of Turniphead. And it's basically just going to say, "We need you in the library, dear, whenever you wake up. I hope you're okay. But also, I have things to do." And I'm going to be like, surely he'll notice that or get curious if this is some kind of game. And I'm walking back towards the library.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Cool.
Okay, I got Lady Solstice. Dr. Turniphead's either asleep or being a dick. I'm not sure which.
It's hard to tell.
One of the two.
Fantastic. Well, I think I have this well in hand. No pun intended.
Yeah, I caught that.
Well, let's everyone hold on. This library seems to do some funky rearranging. And then he's gonna be a little bit showy about it. He's gonna raise his hands, and in Celestial, he's going to say, "Does anyone here speak Celestial?"
I'm
No
almost
characters.
certain I don't, but I do want to check. No, okay, I don't.
I do not.
I would like to see if I can perceive if anyone does or not. Like, I'll just like open one eye to like peek.
Does anyone here speak Celestial?
Nope.
Okay. So then he's just gonna ramble in Celestial. He's not saying anything that makes any sort of. He's not saying anything basically. But he's pretty sure that nobody can understand him anyway. Yes. And yeah, gonna use Mage Hand to turn that crank.
And so, this miracle cast in, for what everyone assumes is a celestial spell, the crank and indeed the room do start to move until, at the one of the lower points of the crank's rotation, almost as if something ran up there to catch it, the wheel, there is now resistance to your turning. The room is at the very least stalled for now. I will say, since these are two physical things, or two understandably not physical things, making what is ostensibly a strength check, I propose that we both roll flat and see who gets higher.
That seems,
Right.
yeah.
I have a backup plan if this doesn't seem to work.
I mean, if you're gonna be fighting over it, we can still break this wall down and catch whatever the fuck that thing is.
Maybe.
The force got a 15.
Oh my god! it's
Wow,
Star Wars.
flat. The Force got a 15. I got a 9.
Oh.
But I have an idea if you will let me. Let me also see if I need to see this.
As you formulate your idea, the room does turn back to its original orientation, but you can also keep the mage hand pressure applied.
Yes, I will do that. And then on top of that, I will cast Unseen Servant. And I will have the Unseen Servant also crank the crank. And it doesn't say I have to see where it appears. So,
All right.
When you cast that, does that look similar magic-wise to what you're fighting for those?
that is also a plan that I was gonna.
Good question.
Technically, I just summoned him within the wall where we can't see him, But with the detect magic, maybe you could see him just. Oh, well.
Yeah. I could sense him earlier.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a question for Mike, because I thought about that. I thought about using this spell and comparing them and seeing.
For the record, detect magic only lasts 10 minutes.
I don't think it's been that long.
Yeah, we can. I mean, like, I've just been nice with it because it's a useful tool for you guys to have. But like, when the episode ends, the spell will be up. So if you want to have that up for the next episode, you'll have to cast it again. We'll call that the ruling.
I was ready to recast it on that one.
Okay, yeah, you do Unseen Servant. Give me an additional strength check, and I will add it to your mage hand. Because this is presumably gonna work.
Just get a 7.
9.
That's enough.
9 plus 9 is 18.
Yeah,
that clears. You turn the crank, and you come to the realization that the crank only turns the room. So it's not really clear how this gets you anywhere in the mansion. Although your only source on that is Eleanor. So who knows what it's supposed to do?
That is so funny. You succeed, but it was not necessary or important.
I mean, no, it's you now have control of how the room turns, and if you wanted to make like an investigation check, maybe you can make further inferences about how this works from the inside out.
We did get weird information about the function of this, that it's not entirely automated.
Right. Mm-hmm. Also, my thought originally, which might have been wrong, was that the room was changing in that the way we entered the room would then be facing a new room, but maybe that's not what you were describing.
That is not what I've been describing. The axis you have been turning on is opposite to the door, or like, it's the one vertical. That the door is not changing on.
I see.
But I mean, your reasoning is sound in terms of like how that would get you elsewhere. It's just on a different plane.
A secret passage behind the bookshelf that has to be lined up with the right plane, surely. Evelyn is going to be pulling books and hoping for something.
So Evelyn starts pulling books. I assume she's okay to get some magic ones as well.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. You're now spinning on 2 axes, one of which is at the mercy of what Jake is doing, and one of which is at the mercy of what Jess is doing. And being put into this very extreme tumble, there's no like intuitive reasoning check. It doesn't really matter. I'll just tell you because
that not like wisdom?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, like, I'm just gonna give it to you. The way it can spin like this, even though the room you see is square, there must be like some kind of spherical affixation to it in order for it to turn in all of these dimensions. It doesn't even really help you. I was just like, how does it? I want to make sure I know how this works. So. Until one of you stops, it's gonna keep spinning in this aimless manner.
If it just keeps spinning aimlessly, after a moment, Lady Solstice, who for the record did not hold on when somebody told her to, if I have to make a check to stay upright, I will do so. But I will absolutely stop Evelyn from doing this after a moment.
Yeah, give me a... I guess it would be a dex check to make sure you have your footing.
Can I do acrobatics?
Yeah, sure.
And it's slightly higher for me. That's a 10. Perfectly middle of the road.
I mean, you don't do it gracefully, but you can keep enough of your bearings to physically stop Evelyn from doing this.
Yeah, I will absolutely. In this free fall. You seem to be making things worse.
I've never once made things worse, but okay, fine. Yeah, I'll stop.
I've also stopped, by the way.
Okay. You both
relevant.
Stop.
What configuration is the room in now if it was randomized?
So we've kind of established that there are Envision, if you will, a cube. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces that have bookshelves on them, and one that has the door. The door is on the ground.
What's through it? Is it just door into floor?
It is door into underground passageway.
I'll absolutely just jump down there.
That's the opposite of the direction we wanted to go, but
I want to see what's down there. Now there were wires and explosives. Maybe that's something I can find. The Lady Solstice, not another word, turns around, jumps down.
You jump down into this underground tunnel made of cobblestone and other parts of earth. It's not very large and not very glamorous. You'd almost assume it's not really meant for people to pass through. Lining the walls are the same symbols of Selune that you saw outside on the barrister. Except here, all of the eyes are crossed in some way. Not crossed looking the wrong way, they're crossed out. Slashes in them.
When you say that they are crossed out, is how do I word this? Does it look? Are they like carved into the wall? I'm assuming
they're carved into the wall. Yes.
Does it look like it was carved with the intent of them being crossed out, or did someone come through and slash these eyes out later?
It looks like they went through and slashed them out later. They're not uniform.
Weird.
They're not particularly artistic. This was definitely not part of the design originally.
Similar follow-up question, since I'm the first one down there. This doesn't matter for me mechanically because I have dark vision, but since you mentioned that this tunnel doesn't look like it's equipped for people, is it lit?
Very funny you say. You get lighting from the you get lighting through the door.
Okay.
Of the library. Which to note is all artificial light. There are light spells or candles lighting that library. And obviously that only has a certain radius of visibility, but a little ways down, approximate in length to where the crank would probably be, there is a greenish glow coming from some kind of shaft.
All right. I'm going to go and investigate that. Just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Lady Solstice was never informed about the crank. I don't believe that was ever said. Okay, so I don't know. I am going to stealth. I don't have incredible stealth, but we're going to see how that... Granted, she's also going down a cobblestone tunnel wearing heels. But
Yeah.
Also, how much time has passed? Because are we all just letting Lady Solstice go down there alone?
Oh, yeah, if somebody wants to follow, you can.
Definitely be following.
It's been enough time for you to react and follow if you want to.
From real time, this is basically just her jumping down and looking at the state of the tunnel, so a few seconds.
Yeah, I would also like to jump down in there with Amelia if I can. And just say, oh, Amelia, dark vision, please, darling.
Yes. Let us see. She'll look through dark vision. We'll mostly tell you, what we established with Catherine is just that she can see longer. If you were to explore, I'm sure she would be more useful in investigating these tunnels. But for right now, you only see them leading one way or the other, not leading to anywhere, except for that shaft with the light in immediate view.
I also see Lady Solstice crouched down like she's trying to be stealthy, and I'm just going to follow suit. Oh, good idea. Excellent. I love being stealthy. I've done this a few times.
Right. Is anyone else
down, or should I do my check?
Yeah. All right. The chaplain is coming. We'll say Clara's coming. She's just with Catherine. Why not? Eleanor does not go with.
Fine by me.
Okay.
You kind of leave her in a tittering dizzy. She had a lot of fun with that last set piece.
Jake, did you want to say something, or?
If she was coming with us, I was going to ask if Mage Hand could muffle someone's voice or not.
Just as a backup plan.
No, she's so wonderful.
For stealthing.
Oh, she's not with you guys. She does not go through the door.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do my stealth check then. Also, just for note, in case I have to do something quick with reactions, Lady Stilsis does have her knives. She has taken both of those out of her little bracers. I only do have a +2 to stealth, so like after all this, not an incredible stat, but we'll see what I get. That's a 13. That could be worse. Again,
13
cobblestone
for
floor
stealth?
and heels probably not conducive.
I mean, for what it's worth, what you see, well, as you stealth there, the thing you're hiding from is kind of preoccupied. Because as you get underneath the shaft and you look up, you see, fiddling with not only the crank that had been mage-handed, but also a bunch of other levers and such, is the translucent, ghoulish green figure of a guy who does manual labor, let's say. He is in a schlubby shirt in the most functional of denim, Timberland boots. And he is frantically trying to reset the library. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And he looks down at you. Oh shit. He jumps down into the shaft, at which point he disappears.
The second he moves... unless you're about to call the episode there. Was that what that was?
No, you can say something.
I was going to say the second he moves, I have a response to that.
Okay.
If I can. I am going to... how far away from me is he right now?
He is like 2 feet above you. This is a short shaft into a like secret compartment.
Okay. Does the shaft continue in the other direction in any sense? Like,
no,
is there
the
another
shaft
escape
is
route?
the shaft is upward, so you are kind of in a lower tunnel that then opens up into this control room.
Even if he's 2 feet above me, I have another advantage to this, so I'm going to do it. The second I see this guy move, I'm going to use Phase Step again. I have a new ability on it because I'm in a new season form, but I teleport up to 30 feet to a space I can see. I'm teleporting immediately next to this ghost, and because I'm in winter mode, he must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be frightened of me until the end of my next turn.
Ooh.
He seems fairly frightened of you as this.
This is an in-character choice as well of, this is a weird guy, I want to close distance immediately.
We're just harassing a working class man at his job.
Don't tell me your saving throw that was a 3 on the die. I was even gonna make up a fucking modifier, but...
All right, cool. I mean, yeah,
He's scared.
It's more than that. It's a charisma thing, so it's high.
As a person who is scared, he continues his action he was doing, which is to jump back down the shaft. And once he is out of the control room, he disappears from your sight.
I kind of lean back around. Oh, what?
Give me a perception on this control room.
Okay, a question for this as well, and I'll do the perception on the control room, but just for note, because I'll probably do this in a second since Lady Solstice is now in hunter mode. I do have advantage on survival checks to track Fey, Fiends, or Undead. So does that apply here if and when I try to chase this guy down? I don't know. But perception for now is... a 19.
Excellent. You don't see the ghost. You see a bunch of pulleys and cranks and whatnot that control the library. And directly directly above you, you see what seemed to be the source of the light. A symbol of Selune, notably this one without a slash in the eye.
Oh, I get it.
You get it?
I'm starting to get it.
Are you going to give this information to everyone?
I mean, I imagine this is visible. You can just follow me in. Yeah, like she's not immediately in like sharing mode, but I think you can just come in. It's not. This is.
Did I see the glowy man?
You didn't see the glowy man, but you saw the light source and then the light source go out. And assuming Catherine would at some point relay that she saw the man.
Not immediately, I will admit, but after a moment, if people are fumbling around, she will mention it as a ghost. Yeah.
And you were able to see it in here.
Yes, there was a green man dressed somewhat slubbishly.
And you could see him in here where the eye is open, but we can't see him down there where the eye is closed. I'm going to grab anything I can. I don't know, a rock, a piece of paper, whatever I can find, and draw or carve this Eye of Selune into it with the eye
Amelia,
open.
on your exact wavelength, gives you a notepad and a piece of paper.
Oh, thank you. This is why I love you. And I'm just going to start drawing a bunch of these with the eyes open, and I'm just going to be like, okay, you hold this one, and you hold this one, and you hold this one, and you hold this one. I'm passing them out to everyone, and then I'm going to step back down into that tunnel.
Excellent. Yeah, you and your party, equipped with these symbols, can go around and search for the ghost. What you find of the catacombs are fairly linear. They branch in some places, but it seems more like this is a ring that leads into compartments like the control room that lead into other rooms and stuff like that. But you're on the lookout for that green man. Can everyone, actually, who wants to go with who? We're splitting up, gang. We've got two directions to go. Who goes, let's call it forward, and who goes, let's call it backward?
There's currently no trace of where this specific ghost went whatsoever. I'm assuming not. No. Okay, so we're just looking at random then. Lady Solstice is probably gonna go forward. That makes sense, I think. Whoever wants to join can. She's not in the cooperative mode.
Mm-hmm. Without my owl, I am unfortunately a little bit blind down here, so if you'd have me, well, she's already. He runs after her as she's not in talking mode.
Lady Solstice turns around and goes, "What was your name, Captain Shippingport? I don't remember. Fine, come along.
Just call me Cap."
She does not acknowledge you a second time.
I think I'll go the other way with the rest of the party.
Okay. So we have the chaplain, Catherine, and Clara in one party. We have Evie and Amelia in another party. I believe that is all that came down here, unless I'm forgetting somebody.
And Chef Turniphead's in the closet.
Yeah. That's actually part of what I'm hoping to look for, is if there's any other ways up. Because if there's a passageway up here, there's probably passageways up other places. And maybe other weird places that we can check out. And I don't know, maybe I'll run into Chef Turniphead while I'm there, so he doesn't spend the whole time being Chris Redfield in a closet.
I think it's very fitting that Turniphead was in a closet for all this. I really do.
You got led to a closet by an owl?
He followed an owl for no reason, and then he walked into a closet, and then the secret he's been looking for was discovered by a bunch of other random people.
Alphat's just doing his best, man.
We'll get back to Turniphead. Here is the die that I'm going to be using for Matt and Jake's party NPC. Here's the one I will be using for Jess's. Full party investigation checks. The average will decide
God.
how this happened.
I'm so sorry, Jake. I have good tracking, but that doesn't count here. Oh no.
Let me find.
Hey, gang! What's 2 minus 1 again? The
I think it's
exact
1.
same thing.
All right.
Man,
Hey,
you
gang.
also had two nat
normally-
20s this episode. So.
Normally, Lady Solstice doesn't do the tracking. They just send her after a monster and she kills it.
Oh.
I have people to find them for me. Come on.
What's an 18
this
plus
goes-
2?
8. Amazing. Amelia got 18 plus 5.
Oh, we both rolled 18s. That's because we're such a good team.
Honestly, your platonic connection is literally insane.
Yeah, we were roommates.
Yeah, they were roommates. So that's
So platonic.
a 22 and a 23, I believe. Jake, what did you roll?
15.
A 15, and Clara got, let me double check this, a 16. The one's kind of gonna take your average. As such, your
Sorry.
party is on a goose chase while Evie and Amelia searching through these catacombs, specifically focusing on looking up into these compartments and checking for little green men. You eventually find feet halfway through the shaft, scurrying into another room, the ghost. Oh, no, 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 I gotta get away. I can't let him find me. Oh, I can't let this all fall apart because of me. Ah.
Hey, I'm actually not much of a threat to you. I don't care if you're willing to just stop for one moment and talk. I just don't want to die.
Yeah, whatever. He raises his arms and drops to the ground. I could use a breather anyway. Fuck.
It's just the two of us here. What the hell is happening, man? We can all drop the pretenses here. I'm not. I don't know. I kill bad rich men who are doing more harm than good, and take their money to help try to do more of it. I'm sure we can find some common ground.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great gig. Oh, that's a lot better than what I'm doing here. Oh.
Yeah, what's your whole thing? Are you okay?
Okay. Up front, I can't tell you the whole thing because of the boss man and, certain influence over me that may limit what I am allowed to say, but I can say.
Oh, I respect that
My name is
completely.
Frankie.
Hey, Frankie. Evelyn. Evie to my friends.
Oh, very nice to meet you. I do maintenance around here. As you can see, I did the library crank and whatnot.
Yeah, very cool.
Thank you, and I made drawn the thing, but it's very clever. That's very. You got a little handheld ghost detector. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. So you're a ghost.
I'm told that's not the right terminology, but I was never a book learning kind of guy. So I'm a ghost,
No, I get that. Are you trapped? Do you want us to try to free you? Are you in a bad situation, or are you cool here?
I'm pretty sure you can't free me in a way that matters. So, but hey, considering how things are going tits up tonight, I don't gotta be around here much longer. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that rules. If you do change your mind and want someone to try to fight for you, let me know. In the meantime, are you killing people?
Oh no, that's not my purview.
Good.
Yeah, I'm the help. I make sure everything's running behind the scenes. Sort of like a freaking stagehand or something. And I'm running all over. I'm doing the cranks and I'm doing this and that. And Bob's your uncle.
I used to be a maid. I get it. I was the help too for a very long time.
There you go.
And so, okay, so you didn't want us to go upstairs for some reason?
I mean, I don't really care. It's just, the boss really cares. And, it's a specific place upstairs that you could not go to. All right, you cannot go there. It would be very bad.
But other places upstairs are fine.
Yeah, there are other rooms. If you avoid anything with like a specific fixture of the ceiling, any of those would be fine to go to. But
Yeah.
there are certain ones that you are not allowed to go to because of what's in there and who is in them, and that is as much I can say without I think being existentially erased or something like that.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that to you. If you can safely, why don't you just tell me which rooms I'm not supposed to go to, and I can promise to you that I will not go to them.
Well, we'll talk about them about their books. No Eyes of Heaven, none of that. Don't pull any books that reference the moon. Okay, that is gonna be a no-go. I cannot bring you there. What else? What else? Do not go anywhere. Don't go in the basement catacombs. You're not allowed to go there. I'm not allowed to bring you there. You're kind of already there, so I
That
guess
wasn't
I
your
kind of
fault.
already let it slip that maybe there is something you would want to find down here, but whatever. And that should be it in terms of the things that you cannot go to.
Okay.
But I think I
since-
got a good place for you to go to.
Oh, I would love to hear that actually. But first of all, since we're already down here, tell me where I'm not supposed to go down here, and I will make sure that I personally never set foot there. I swear to you
Right.
on my Lady Death that I will not willingly go there.
Sweet. I hope that is not legally binding on your head. We're a couple of scum of the earth trying to help each other out here. We don't want anyone to get hurt.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
So this catacomb is like a wheel. Think of
Mhm.
it like, and each of the vents is a spoke.
Okay.
So if you go like 4 spokes down from here, don't go there.
Don't go
Do
there.
not go there. Don't go there.
Okay.
No.
I will.
And
I will not go there. I promise you.
And if you get to the library, do not, under any circumstances, and you are not prohibited, but like I'm telling you, don't under any circumstances pull any books about marriage. You don't want to pull any books about marriage and see what's through there. That's all I'm
Oh,
saying.
marriage specifically, even if I just want to read the book?
Even if you just want to read the book, you totally shouldn't. And he winks. You totally shouldn't. He winks again. Pick up that book from the library, especially if it seems a little bit magical in nature. And he winks with the other eye.
Okay. God, I appreciate you so much. Is there anything I can do for you? Your situation seems like not fun.
Yeah, if there's any favor you want to do me, just off the top of my dome, you could bring this hellish existence to an end, cause, I'm not gonna go into my whole thing, but when I came here, I was kind of like a curmudgeon. I was sick of it all, and I was told that I could just, like, check out for the rest of my existence. And look at me now. I'm a curmudgeon, but green. It didn't fucking end.
Yeah, are you dead?
Oh,
It's like a
am
serious
I
problem.
dead? I'm certainly not living. I'm certainly not living.
Yeah,
No, I would call the others dead. I wouldn't call me dead.
Okay. Yeah, I have a serious problem with souls being bound here beyond death. Death is where really, I think everyone should eventually end up. Death, by the way, is not a terrible thing. It's a new beginning. It's a fresh start.
Yeah.
It's beautiful and
Again,
lovely, and I really will try to do my best to free you. The others are dead though, which means I have a problem with somebody
the
here.
souls, they're not souls, but the souls that are bound here, they're not dead. They're not living, they're not dead. They're technically not dead. When I'm talking about the others, I'm talking about the others who, like, used to work here, but were called when a thing happened. A thing happened.
Thing happened, and can you say what the thing is?
I can't say what the thing is.
I
It
figured
would
I'd
be as
ask.
simple as I can say what the thing is.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Is there anything you can say about your boss? His name, his address?
Here's a tip. He's rich.
Oh, he's rich.
I know if you're gonna guess that one.
Is he single?
Ooh, it's complicated. Girlfriend, it's complicated.
Well, tell your boss that if he's interested in a new wife, that I would happily make that happen.
Oh, that. I mean, enter at your own risk. All right. But yeah, I can pass that message along to you when I meet him with him again in say a millennia. That's the rate at which they happen. Otherwise, he's barking orders, do this, crank that, etc.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
You're just gonna gloss over that really important thing? Hold on. The rate at which they happen. What?
Is what I said?
I wish I was here.
Oh man, yeah, me too.
There's a certain point at which years just kind of stop mattering, and that's around like the 150 mark. I say a millennium, partially as hyperbole, but partially as this guy hasn't spoken to me in like 100 years. So why am I supposed to believe it's gonna happen in like 1,000 fucking years? You know. But yeah, I lost track around 150, and that feels like it was 50 or so ago. I don't know.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I feel like whatever you got going on kind of sucks. And I'm looking...
Oh, I was just going to say, whoever made the idea that we inherit our aches and pains from the living, I would like to have a word, because it's very silly.
Yeah.
And I've been doing the work of about 100 employees on my own for the past years. And my fucking feet hurt like a motherfucker.
I bet. Yeah, I don't seem to have anything here. Amy, do you have anything that we can use to help this poor soul move on?
I don't think I have anything that can help on these unholy grounds.
I don't imagine Dispel Magic's going to do much here.
And if he's not dead, then I don't think any of our magic can work on him.
Yeah. I would like to try something that I find generally to be against everything I hold dear. Do you have a diamond on you?
You're asking Frankie?
I'm asking Amelia.
Amy? Seems like a common enough spell casting thing. We can say she does.
Okay. I'm going to take that diamond and I'm going to burn one of my 2 third-level spell slots to see if I can't cast Revivify on this poor man. If it does nothing, that's fine.
Of Revivify.
You touch a creature that has died within the within the last minute. Never mind. Ignore me.
Ooh, we did just establish it's been a tad longer.
Yeah. Never mind.
I will tell you for free, it would not have worked.
Okay.
Even if it had happened within a minute.
Yeah.
Again, I told you everything I can tell you, and again, do not, under any means, go 4 fence that way, or 2 taking any books about marriage.
Yeah, I promised you I won't go 4 things that way, and we'll see about the other stuff. Anyway, you've been lovely. Thank you so much for everything, and we will find a way to help you. I'm going to go find the rest of our party and see if they're willing to go 4 things that way. Without me, of course, because I promised you.
Yes, and I got another veiled thing I can give you. I just cooked it up. Okay. All right. Beware common allergens.
Okay.
They
That's
carry lies. They're lying.
Say that one more time.
Beware common allergens.
Okay, I did hear you right.
Is that related
like
to
legumes and nuts and the like?
Is that related to what's happening here, or is this just common wisdom?
It's related to what's happening here. Maybe someone with like a surname or something. I don't know. Legally, I'm not allowed to say I know.
Oh, that's nuts. Okay.
Yeah. Well, again, big with the naming thing. I don't want to be misinterpreted. I'm kind of starting to see the path down which you would be misinterpreted, and I'm going to let you know now. It'll be misinterpreted.
Okay.
Jake's got it, apparently, and
I got it, I think.
I have 2 things.
I'm processing it still. Now the -1 intelligence feels right. I'll get there. I'm not in the scene. Keep going.
That is the note Frankie will leave you on. So if you have nothing more, this line of questioning closes.
Yeah, I have nothing more. I'm going to go try to find the rest of the group because I'm not going there.
Yeah.
I swore on my Lady Death that I would not go 4 spokes down. But if it's a big wheel, if I keep going in the same direction, I'll find them eventually. And I can point them in the right direction.
And so you do meet at a midpoint of the wheel. The other party unsuccessful. I'm gonna assume you relay everything about that interaction to your group.
Oh, every single thing.
And it happens recent enough that I'm not gonna test you, the player, on what you know. I will just say everyone that is being conferred with, you now know the deal.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah?
Just for fun. Assuming now has been enough time for me to return from my closet and see the note, can I go back to the library where there's a certain Eleanor chilling?
You're not going to return. We'll get to that. The party reconvenes at a midpoint in the catacombs. Jess, I assume you relay everything about that interaction to the rest of the people here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, 100%. 4 spokes that way from where I was, which is now I think like 16 spokes that way. And the books on marriage and the moon. Also, there was a ghost who is just working for a guy that he hasn't talked to in like 100 years. And he's magically bound to do this, and he seems to be doing all the automation stuff. He's not hostile. He's a chill guy. His name is Frankie. He's just like a dude, just like the rest of us. Like we're all just working people, except for you, Lady Solstice.
Wait,
yeah, lots of information.
Are you all not also rich?
I mean, I am now, but I was a maid who killed a bad man and took his money, and then I keep killing bad people and taking their money.
We are not rich from a family name. Well, not one we were born into.
I help people find a new start by being reborn in death and a favorable light from her Lady Death so they can come back as hopefully better people and do less harm overall. My goal is to just, there's less evil in the world when I'm done, and then I have money that I can use to keep doing the things I'm doing.
Wonderful. I don't care. Where's the ghost?
He's gone. I let him go. He told me everything. He's nice. He's just like a guy. He's magically being held here and forced to do his thing by an evil master who is quite rich and is killing people here in this house. There used to be other servants, but they were cold. There's lots of places that I promised I wouldn't go. I promised him on the name of my Lady Death that I wouldn't go to a place down here that we're supposed to keep away from. Also, if we do manage to get upstairs, there are rooms with like certain chandeliers that we're not supposed to go to, or he said ceiling fixtures, I guess. It's a lot of stuff.
Mike, based on this description of this guy, can I do a history or religion check?
What are you trying to find out?
Well, so I have a theory as a player, and I'm trying to figure out if my character, who is well knowledgeable in religion, would know the thing that I have a very stern suspicion.
Sure, yeah.
Figure out if my character knows that.
And considering your background, religion or history, whichever is higher, because, hey, maybe you could have found this information either. In the loose world that I have here, history and religion, kind of similar topics.
Okay.
It's a lot of counting.
22.
Wowza! What do you want to know? Or what is your theory, I suppose?
And we can play this out in character, but out of character. Mike, is this guy a shade?
No.
Because it's in the name of the show.
That's fair. And tell me why you think he's a shade.
Shades were humanoids who had merged with the essence of shadow stuff. They were said to have traded away their very souls in exchange for profound physical prowess, protection from harm, and ageless immortality.
You can
Sounds a lot like a guy that's doing a bunch of manual work as a ghost that doesn't die.
That would make a lot of sense. So. The problem is, all of the energy you have sensed has been aggressively based in light. Almost as if anything that is not light has been purged. So it wouldn't make sense for this to be a shade specifically, but that is fantastic reasoning. And an excellent pull.
I mean, if that was
But
the
that
thing, I mean, you put shade in the name of the campaign, so
yeah.
Okay, all right.
And that will probably be clarified at some point, but I like the theory crafting.
I mean, if it's a shade that's light-based, Moonlight shade. I mean, we're still. I feel like we're playing around in the right space at the very least.
Yeah. Okay, well, then what does my I don't even remember what it was. 21, 22?
22.
My roll inform me.
I mean, it can assuage that theory by, determining that the energy is light-based. Although I'll let you ask an additional question or two if you want to know more about Frankie from a... what did you end up rolling? History or religion?
It was religion.
So if you want to try to infer anything from a religious sense, you can ask me a question. I'll give you a 22 scored answer.
Specifically, regarding Salune, have I heard of any like anything like this of people maybe like enslaved for eternity or trading their, afterlife for something, this kind of metaphysical bargaining?
That is a great thought. And I want you to put a pin in it. And I want you to tell me, do you pontificate on this at all out loud?
Maybe not in such. I would say that Kaplinger is so caught up in this that he is muttering under his breath, but it is in Celestial. But it would be out loud.
Assuming no one has their papers actively up, which I don't think they would, you from an unseen source hears, if you were wondering about a thing like this, hypothetically, you would probably not want to get the marriage book from the library. I don't think that would relate to the topic in any way, shape, or form. But, I'm just going off to a job, just talking to myself, just these other people seem to be bettering themselves, as if they're right, as an entity that is, and he trails off back down the catacombs, never seen, but certainly heard.
Anyway, as I was saying, Frankie is just the coolest person I've met all night.
On hearing the ghost, Lady Solstice is immediately going to whip around and get ready to chase that motherfucker, but I assume he vanishes before that opportunity arises.
Yeah, you look to the left and the right, but he is either disappeared or gone off up a shaft or something. You cannot shine your Salune symbol to see him.
Okay, actually, that does give a point. If this is something that we may run into going forward, which I think I will, Lady Solstice does have a necklace sort of armor thing around her collarbone, her shoulders. Can I tuck the symbol or sort of stick it in there in some way so I always have the little cone of ghost vision in front of me?
Sure.
I'm
It'll
just
look
gonna
a little silly, but you can do that.
Yeah, you know what? For this purpose, we're gonna leave that at least until I'm out of the catacombs. She has a little compass design in there. It might blend in for half a second before someone realizes it's paper.
You know what? I'm gonna use minor illusion and draw that symbol on my forehead.
That's smart.
And it doesn't go away unless I dismiss it.
I'm just gonna hold my paper. So, do you want to go investigate the place that I'm not allowed to go? Because I swore on my goddess that I'm not allowed to go there, and I will not commit.
Yeah. To recap, Evie swore not to go to
just
the place in the basement.
Here. Yeah,
but said nothing about the marriage room. Kaplinger has just gotten a tip from Frankie that he might want to check out the marriage room, so
we could split.
Yeah, a split seems quite inevitable at this point, and either way, we split 2 and 3. So
That's fair. Monster Hunter, are you good going and exploring down here on your own?
She nods.
Okay, yeah. Awesome.
Well, with Clara, I assume. Clara's not going to leave, but...
Oh, Clara's level 1.
She's a paladin. She's got things that can help.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Clara goes with you. And we'll follow the two of you first, as in the background, you guys maneuver the library to get you where you need to be. We're not going to role play that right now. We're going to get into our ending places, I think, for next episode. So first, Catherine and Clara go to the specified. They go to the specified shaft. They clamber their way up, and do you have a way of creating light? A kind of light spell? I'll check.
So I have dark vision, and myself, and I believe Clara does as well, because Clara's UNT. So we should both have dark vision. Technically, if we want to be like really, really specific, I can infuse my weapons, which are my knives, with elemental energy. I've kind of, in my brain, assumed that makes them glow, but that is not mechanically written as a light source, so no. Other than my dark vision, no.
Okay. Well, at the very least, you see what is unmistakably an armory.
Ooh.
Filled with spears, with swords, with bows, with arrows, with guns, with bullets. Of every caliber you could imagine.
Many questions. And something that Lady Solstice knows a little bit more about for once. First question, looking around this place. How often is this place visited? Does this look old or abandoned, or like, are the things well taken care of? Are there any weapons that are notably like missing from a rack or something like that? Does it look like someone has been here recently?
It doesn't look like anything's missing so much as it looks like this doesn't have much of an organizational structure.
Okay.
It looks as though the things that deposited in this room were just thrown in haphazardly. Give me an investigation check.
Okay, my investigation is still not good. A 4.
I'll roll for Clara.
That's why she exists.
Clara gets a natural 20.
There's a reason that she is my protege. It is to cover my failings.
Mom, I hate to... Well, we're making progress, but I think it makes things worse. And she picks up a pike, a javelin, a sword, and a knife. All coated in blood. All of which could presumably fit with the wounds that were inflicted on Jason. From their mix of poor looks and fancy encrusted glory, you can only assume these were taken from weapons and coat check tonight.
Okay. Several questions are raised. Immediate one here. I don't know. This would be dependent on a few things about the construction of these tunnels that I don't really know. And also, again, not something that Lady Solstice herself is equipped to find out. But I do want to look. Are there sets of footprints around this area other than mine and Clara's, of course? Because if this was deposited by a ghost servant, presumably there would not be, but if it was anyone else, there might be. So, can I find evidence of anyone else entering or exiting this room recently?
Do you have detect magic?
I don't. I'm not a spellcaster.
Fuck no, you can't. No, you cannot.
So, well, okay, but there's no, like, footprints or anything. There's no evidence of somebody coming in. Okay. So yeah, I guess I should have clarified. I wasn't as much looking for ghosts because I don't have a way to do that. I was looking for not ghost entry. Okay.
No mortal has entered here, seemingly.
Still gives me the information that I needed, so that's fine. All right. And then secondly, I have no idea what role this would be, so I'm going to leave it to the DM to decide. You said that these weapons were like very fancy, very ornate, elaborate, gold encrusted, whatever. If they're ceremonial in any sense, is there any way that I could, by looking at them, get an idea of whose they might be or like whose house they might belong to or something like that? Are there any identifying features?
Yeah, give me another investigation check.
Wait, no, it's an 8.
Nah, that's a great thought. One that I hadn't considered, but luckily I don't have to account for it because you got an 8.
Yep, that does make sense.
I will roll an investigation for Clara as well. You two work essentially as one.
Yep.
And you know what? She got a 17.
Yay!
You can... yeah, because fuck them. You can track... one of the encrusted bejeweled blades, partially by its fashion and design and partially by the seal of Redding on it, that this belonged to the Baron, who didn't exactly go buy weapons and coat check when he left. The old fool. He was wearing his coat. He forgot.
Makes sense. And then someone used the weapons of an already dead man to do the murder because... I don't imagine we have fingerprint testing in this setting, so that was a good call. But it was, again, presumably a ghost. That's interesting. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to check here, because I know you said we were getting close to like the ending state, so I don't want to fumble around here and think for too long.
I mean, you can have between this session and this section, like, we can cut and you will probably be here in the next episode if you so desire.
You know what? Sure. There might be another clue that I can find here, and I feel like the scene of this might be funny, so we'll play that out and we can cut over to the other group.
For the record, that dagger's mine now. I think I inherited that. Just want to...
It's true.
Yeah.
Very true. Speaking of such ceremonies, you... the chaplain and Amelia go back to the library. I assume you pull the book about marriage.
Oh, immediately. I will let the chaplain do it just in case. Just in case.
Yeah. Also in the library, Eleanor.
Oh, Eleanor, you missed a wonderful ghost.
Oh, a ghost? That sounds so fun. I've just kind of been in the afterglow when we went all spinny. That was really fun. What are you doing now?
We're reading about marriage.
Oh!
Did I tell you that I just lost my husband 25 minutes ago?
Oh!
He died in that explosion.
Widowing. Oh. I'm so sorry. Are you sure you want to read about marriage at such a vulnerable time?
I am. In fact, I think actually moving on will help me with my grief.
All right, then let me get the book and I'll do all the reading. I don't know if you noticed, but I like to do little voices so I can do all the characters. And almost intuitively,
Chaplain has the book.
She pulls the exact magic book you need blindly from the shelf. Ooh, let's see.
Oh, no.
There undone.
Hand me that, would you, dear?
Oh, sure. And then the room shifts and she trips flat on the ground. If you want to pick up the book, you can, but for now, the room is shifting.
I would like to grab that book. She grabbed that so almost like magic. I don't trust that. And I am handing that to Catherine and saying that you should read this, I think. Are you on the floor, dear? I'm so sorry. Let me help you up.
Oh, no, I love it. It's a fun angle. Whoa. And as she says, the room is, again, moving on both of its axes around this circular frame. To where it settles, the door frame is not on a particular wall, but faces the corner of the room.
Oh, I bet you it faces the moon.
Does not face the moon.
It doesn't face the moon.
If it was to be facing the moon, it would be pointing upward.
Oh.
Instead, it points to a place where there is presumably space in the internals of this house. So it's not pointed toward the foyer or toward the crank room. It's pointed toward another one of these walls, which from the outside would look like a corner of the building.
Keep that book with you. Shall we go see what this is about?
Absolutely. Let's go.
And let's go. Thank you, Frankie.
You go through the door into a room that seems pretty fucking impossible. But before you is a field of lush green grass. White foldable chairs are set up in rows with an aisle going down the center. And at the end of the aisle is a podium. And perpetually, there seem to be rose petals flittering through the breeze.
Oh, like a proper marriage. I do love these so much. Let's read that book.
It is aesthetically not to my taste.
No, I get that. Maybe go something darker eventually.
You said to read the book?
Yes, I think we should read that book very quickly before we interact with anything in this room.
Well, you read the book, and like the other magic books, it is basically a ping, which I'll give you enough pieces that I'll just let you know. That lets Frankie know what book got pulled and what levers to pull.
Oh, so there's nothing
actually
actually
make it go.
Interesting about reading the book. Okay.
No, yeah, the incantation inside of the book basically sends a message to Frankie, almost like a coding of some kind.
I misunderstood. I thought there was going to be some secret info in the book about what we were facing. But
Not in the book.
Marriage ceremony room.
Well, if you look at the podium
Yes.
at the end of the aisle, you find a document. There is preamble and lots of stuff about marriage and the vows you're taking, etc., etc. But the passage that we focus in on for your purposes reads as such. Each spouse in this union, with its greater bestowment, is equally accountable to their vows of divine love. Should this love be betrayed through willful death or decomplication, the D is capitalized, the union and bestowment shall be null and void, and the offending spouse shall be persecuted as a sinner of the highest degree.
I don't love that. I really don't love that.
We'll learn more about that next time. But to round out our party, poor Nikhil, let's check back in with Dr. Turniphead. Finally, he's in this hallway at some point in this evening. This interaction happens. I mean, you've inspected the closet. There's nothing more to really see here. I assume you turn around.
Yeah.
You turn around, and although you were tailed by her, you do not see Molly, but you do see Bartholomew.
Oh, good. I've been wanting to talk about
What
it
are you
last-
searching for, little one?
Whatever is controlling you, I guess. There was a ghost guy? Do you know about the ghost guy? Are you the ghost guy?
Bartholomew cocks his head like a dog, mishearing something, and then slowly cocks it back. It is fortuitous you would seek my master. He wants to speak with you as well. The portal opens at your feet. You are dropped into an office at the feet of a ghostly green man in a finely tailored suit. Hello there. I apologize for the context of our meeting. I am Lord Cedric Barrister. I understand you're a man of science.
I've been known to dabble, yes. I've worked very hard in my life, learned some things along the way. Are you the reason that this whole place is automated?
Cedric smiles. Everything does run through me, yes.
Brilliant.
Let my boys make you a cup of tea. We've much to discuss. And that is where we end this episode of Murder Under Moonlight's Shade. Now with 200% more ghosts!
200%.
Wait, there was one ghost in the last. Wait,
No.
a quarter of a
that
ghost in the last
doesn't
one?
mathematically check out. There
we
is
had to detect
infinitely
magic.
more ghosts in Murder Under Moonlight's Shade.
Anyway, thank you everyone for watching D and Dumbasses while we try to figure out the math. Of
No,
200.
Jess, do not put that's the name of my show. Don't put that out of the world.
If you want more expert analysis from professional mathematicians such as we, you can subscribe to patreon.com/D&Dorks to listen to this episode's after show, where I am sure we will have much to discuss. But for the rest of you, we must bid you adieu here and now in the next and potentially final episode of Murder Under Moonlight's Shade. Goodbye.
See you
Bye.
next time.
Bye.